Hello everyone, how you doing? How was your week? Hope you had a good Friday. Hope yours was drier than mine. It rained here all day. It's been rainy all day. It's weather could be better, but yeah, it is now the weekend is now here. We're all free from work for 2 days, hopefully. And also, hello in chat, Megumin, Charza, Gingerblades, and Chonka, and also Nova. Hello everyone. How you doing? Man, this has been one of those weeks. It feels like, it feels like it's been one of them weeks where it's not a bad week, where it's like shit happening, Sometimes shit happening. Some shit happened to some people. Very obviously, they are now creators. Rip the Ayatollah. And by rip, I mean rip in pieces, because he has been ripped apart, one might say. Pretty good on my front. What's on today's topics? Right, yeah, it's, well, for one thing, while we're on the way to getting toward the main topic of the evening, that being Gundam Assemble, I got that fucking Starship Troopers video out. I finally found the time to wrap up the editing, get a cover made, and get it out. That came out earlier today at noon. Just watched the video on Starship Troopers, good video. Thanks, man. Listen, I don't expect my videos or my streams to ever pop off. But as long as they're there, that maybe someday, sometime, someone will watch it. You know what? That's good enough for me. I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you liked it. It was the first one I've actually put a semblance of editing effort into, because I edit all my own shit. I don't have an editor. I don't even know how to acquire an editor, let alone how I would go about getting them the files and all that stuff. So I just edit my own shit. I learned to edit my own shit, and yeah, I actually wanted to put a little bit of effort into that one. Fantastic video. Thanks, man. Thanks. People still believing a forever war is totally gonna happen. Gonna happen. Listen, I said this when the whole Iran thing kicked off earlier this week. Millennials are so mind broken by the Iraq war that they don't actually know how war works. That's just how it is, man. That's just how it is. They're so but most millennials don't even learn proper history when it comes to war. Like most millennials and their parents before them, actually, the generations before them, were taught that we lost the Vietnam War, that we were beaten by, and I quote, rice farmers with pitchforks, when no, we actually obliterated the Viet Cong very early in the war. We were fighting the actual properly trained North Vietnamese army for most of that, and we were still going 10-1 against them in terms of casualties. So yeah, what do you call it, and the thing people really forget is a lot of what bogged down the Vietnam War was our own policymakers back at home saying shit like, oh yeah, we've got our F4 Phantoms capable of beyond visual range engagements. They're not allowed, designed around beyond visual range engagements. They're not allowed to engage in those. They have to engage in dogfights in visual range, and they're not allowed to fire first. They have to confirm the enemy before they fire. And, we know where all the enemy's SAM sites are along the path we're sending our bombers. You're not allowed to blow them up, by the way. You're not allowed to blow up the enemy SAM sites. You just gotta deal with it. We know where they're parking their MiGs that China gave them. You're not allowed to blow up the MiGs on the runway, even though you know where they are, even though you could. You're not allowed to do that. Shit like that is why the Vietnam War was bogged down and took as long as it was, because policymakers were dictating strategy, and that was the problem. I can see why presidents like, Reagan, Bush Sr. and Trump want to get wars done before a formal declaration of war has to be made. Because good God, once you get Congress involved in dictating how wars are fought, it just drags to shit. That's when it goes to shit. They're also being supported by the USSR and Eastern Bloc. Yeah, that too. Bureaucrats are truly a bane upon anything. They really are. They really are. Like, there should be a law that says Congress is not allowed, like, Congress has to declare war, but they're not allowed to have a say in how it's fought. Like, seriously. Like, Vietnam War bogged down because of that, and then we still won. Because they never teach you in school about the Paris Peace Accords, where the North Vietnam surrendered to the United States and agreed to end the war. They never talk about that. They only ever talk about the fall of Saigon, like all of a sudden America was pushed back and then Saigon was taken. No, we weren't there because we left, and we left because we won, and we won because the North Vietnamese signed the Paris Peace Accords. I'm getting real tired of communist academics and school teachers teaching kids that we've lost every fucking war in human history. I'm getting really, really fucking sick of it in my old age. Yours did actually. You know what, Chaka? I'm not surprised that your teacher taught you that, because we did not, in fact, lose the Vietnam War. We didn't lose Korea. We didn't lose fucking, because they teach you that that we lost World War II as well. Fat Electrician just did a rant in one of his videos about this, and God bless that man for doing so, where he pointed out how absolutely ludicrous the argument is that Japan surrendered because of Russia, and that the atomic bomb was just an excuse to not surrender to Russia directly. He like the whole, oh, Russia invaded Manchuria, that's why Japan actually surrendered. No, it was the fact we spawned the fucking sun over two of their cities, okay? They were terrified of us. They were fucking terrified of us. Was the Vietnam War technically a conflict instead of a war? No, it was a proper war. Also, welcome to the chat. Welcome, first-time chatter, Filthiac. I'm gonna call you Phil. Hey, Phil, how you doing? No. The Vietnam War was a proper war, and we won it. Yeah, Paris Peace Accords were a victory. That's how war works. When you get the enemy to sign the peace deals that say, we quit, they surrender, you won. So yeah. Korea's still on. Yeah, America fought the combined might of the North Vietnamese and the Chinese and still beat them back to, was it the 36th or the 35th parallel? I can never remember which one it was, but it's one of those two, you know? Assume it's the higher one, because, yeah, fuck the Norks. Doing good, thanks for the clarification. Yeah, no problem, dude, no problem. Not gonna lie, even though I generally like this YouTube channel, one channel I watch generally has a problem at times with spazzing over fake info, in spite of calling doomers out most of the time. I mean, Megaman, you can call them out by name if you want, I don't mind. I'll say it out loud. It was a war, but not legally a war, because we haven't been to war formally since World War II. Yeah, but it was still a war, like, come on. Like, just because Congress doesn't declare war doesn't mean it's not a war, you know? I mean, I'm doing a little, by the way, don't mind me, everyone, for now. I'm doing some stuff in the background. Shipping. I'm sorry, because I may be doing a funny. I may be doing a funny via, I may be doing a funny with pre-orders that's very on point for tonight. Hold on. Yeah, PayPal. Why would I use anything but that for this? Review order. Flat rate. Continue. Oh, right. Like that, yeah. Yeah, I literally have to sign a disclaimer saying, you are pre-ordering something, don't bitch if it doesn't ship immediately. Like, yeah. And pay now. Okay. There we go. I was pre-ordering Gundam Assemble on USAGs, in case you're wondering. I bought the big boy fucking big dick $100 starter set. We're gonna get into that later today, by the way, because yeah, it's that's the main topic for today. I know I've been ranting about war for the past couple minutes, but the topic for today is Gundam Assemble, because Bandai went and revealed that. We're just gonna yap on other things for now. Get stuff out of the way. The only thing I have pre-order is your Stargazer kit. Oh yeah, Ginger Blaze. It was Gundam Assemble. A bot snuck in. One moment. Let me delete that message over on that. Fucking clankers. Listen, Twitch really needs to deal with its clanker problem. Like, I know Dan Clancy is too busy staring at titty streamers, shaking their asses on screen. And, doing the latest half-naked Twitch meta or whatever. They really gotta deal with the bots. Yeah, Stargazers from Cosmic Era. You're gonna be, by the way, Chalk, you're gonna be happy about some of the news with Gundam Assemble, by the way. Don't forget glazing Hassan Piker. Yeah, him too. Yeah, one of those people like watching Hassan Piker legitimately fall for that America's losing in Iran shit is just so fucking funny. It's just so fucking funny. Mr. Piker, why don't you please kindly get out of my country if you hate it here so much? Oh, right, you can't, because then you'd have to give up your fucking multi-million-dollar mansion and cushy Los Angeles lifestyle. Can bots have live birth streams? Oh God, don't remind me of that shit. Ugh. That weak ass burp is all I gotta say about that. Holy shit. I've seen it. You're happy we're getting bukus. Yeah, no. I'm not surprised at all that that's the error they went with for the second one, but right. Let's get on to the main topic at hand, everyone. We will do that. We will do that right now. So, one moment, everyone. Oh, hold on. Oh, I forgot the customary thing. Wait, I fucked up. Oh God, there's scuff already. I forgot the customary thing to do. Hold on. There we go. Okay, now it's a stream. That feel when you're a better communist than Hassan while being a libertarian? I didn't know libertarian communism was possible. Hey, Keen, how you doing? Cosmic Era, make the money besides UC, real. Okay. Hold up. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, I tasted that one. Oh, God. I'm okay. Rate that 6 out of 10. I could do better. Anyway, right. Oh, all right. So this was the news. This was on the tabletop wargaming front. This was the big news this week. The official reveal of the new tabletop wargame from Bandai Namco, Gundam Assemble. For context, let's look at the screen caps. Well, no, let's not look at the screen caps. Let's talk the data. It comes out in October. This is specifically the deluxe starter set. But the game itself launches in October. It retails for 9,900 yen. For those wondering in Burger, that comes out to $100 American. So the starter box is $100 American. This is the box set. It's got comes with miniatures, terrain, unit cards, unit cards, dice, everything you need to play. It's a starter box, And let's see. These are the minis it's gonna come with. For those of you who don't, so obviously, as you can obviously tell by the playmat, the terrain pieces and the minis here, this is a hex-based movement game. You know, it's like BattleTech basically. In terms of its movement system, it's like BattleTech. It uses hexes to measure distance. Looked on Amazon, they're offering Japanese import minis and card 3-packs now. Yeah, they've got it on USAGs right now. USA Gundam store, I think that's called. Yeah, they've got it there. That's where I just pre-ordered it. I go through USAGs for all my Gundam shit. But, right. Miniatures. Right, so. For those who don't know their Gundam, well, first of all, a matter of scale. I've looked at pictures of, because there were some early release minis for this. They came out last year with the Mobile Suit Gundam trading card game. There were starter sets for the trading card game that included preview models for Gundam Assemble. And when people put those together, they were able to get an idea of the scale of the minis. And standing upright, a pretty standard mobile suit for Gundam Assemble is about 1.5 to 2 times the size of a Space Marine. So I'd say the ones in this set, except for you know, the warships that you can see, are all roughly in that size scale. So keep that in mind when it comes to how many models you're getting in the box. You're basically, each one of these models is about the equivalent of 2, I'd say for the warships, to 3 Space Marines total. So with my horrifically dyscalculic brain, I'm gonna try to do some math, and that is, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, wait, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, 21, 24. I'd say this is about the plastic equivalent of about 26 Warhammer models. Don't trip the fire alarm. It's gonna happen, dude. Listen, I ain't got no hair on top of my head anymore. I feel that shit smoking anyway. Well, I'm trying to do math, I could fry an egg on top of my head. But yeah, this is about equivalent of a 27 box of Warhammer models. So your average Warhammer starter box in terms of like plastic in the box. So that for $100 and all the rules, because this includes all the rules. You know, rule book, you know, it's got like what you call it, rule book. Like it's a rule book, unit cards, dice, playmat, tokens, the 2 armies included. They're the Earth Federation and Xeon from the Universal Century, and you know, the hex pieces for terrain. So yeah, no, it's a good this for $100 is a good deal, especially considering this is like everything needed to play. This isn't like Warhammer 40K where they have like, you know, the $114 starter set, and then you have to spend like to use everything in the box in actual Warhammer games. You need to spend like an additional 70 plus 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 130, $190 if you include both codexes for Space Marines and Tyranids. $190 to use everything in an actual 40K game, which is, you know, because Games Workshop is really, you know, they're really devious with that. Oh, it's only $114 to get started on Warhammer. By the way, prepare to spend almost another $200 on rulebooks. The Gundam minis seem very thin. No, I don't. No, that doesn't seem like a good point. That they seem thin. They're like, they may be posed different, but they are generally about 2 times the amount of plastic in them as a Space Marine in terms of size. And that's not accounting for the warships. By the way, For people who don't know Gundam, let me list off what all these units are. You've got the Pegasus class, starting from, bottom left, going right, and then, bottom left, going right, and then going left to right again with each row. You've got the Pegasus class assault carrier white base. That's the flagship from that's the hero ship from the original series. Then you've got the RX-78-2 Gundam. You've got the gun cannon, the gun tank, long live gun tank. You've got the GM, next row going over to the right. You've got the GM. You've got the ball. The balls are like small, small. They're almost like fighter craft, basically. And then they've got the Ogo. That's the Xeon equivalent of the ball. Then for the Xeon, warship, you've got the Musai class battleship. And then the top row, you've got the Zaku 1, the Rikdom, the Zaku 2, and then you've got the Zeong. And you've also got the Zeong's head, which can, detach and fight as a separate craft. So those are the minis that come with the box. It's themed after the original Mobile Suit Gundam. The original Mobile Suit Gundam anime from 1979. Specifically, it looks like it's following it looks like the set's going to follow either the Battle of Solomon or the Battle of Abao Aq, the last two major battles of the 1-year war. When is this all coming out? This comes out in October. This comes out in October. And then they've got releases planned all the way into December this year. So there's going to be a couple of releases back to back over a couple of months. But yeah, you've got it looks like it's following, I'd say Abao Aq because the Zeong is there. That was Char's mobile suit for the final battle of the original series. Yeah, that's the models in the box. And then there's another thing here. Right, yeah, this is the assembled game, a close-up of the assembled game mat with all the minis on it. I need to look into it if the terrain can be. I'm guessing can be customized. I've seen preview pictures out there somewhere of like plastic terrain pieces meant for the hex bases. Like it looked like a demo game that was built after the opening battle of 0080 with the GMs and those aquatic mobile suits with the extendo arms that was fought in Antarctica. And his character cards, yeah, it uses unit cards. It uses like a unit cards. We've got an example of one we're going to look at in a little bit. All right, but that's that. But they announced a bunch of stuff that day. The second thing. This is the smaller starter set. It's what do you call it? This one also releases in October. This is the basic set. It retails for 3,850 yen. I don't know how much that. Hold on. Hold on. Let me head over to USAGs. They've got it on pre-order. I can check it there. No, USAGs. That's the wrong thing. $40. 40 bucks. Yeah, Chonky, you got it. $40. It retails for $40 American. Not gonna lie, even though it's kind of doubling up on like I might actually pick this one up too, if I'm being honest. Yeah, $40 for the smaller starter set is really good. Like that's a really good deal. And yeah, as you can see, this one's got like a ground set. It's like a ground mat instead of a space mat. Yeah, like it has basically everything the It has basically everything the other kit does, but I think it's got like fewer models, and it's got none of the warships in it, which are, you know, bigger kits, obviously. But it's got basically all the same stuff, you know, and it's got a ground-focused map instead. And it's got a more mixed spread of suits. It's got, what do you call it? It's got, well, let's see. It's also got the RX-78-2, you know, Gramps, the original Gundam. It's got the Barbatos from Iron Blood Orphans. It's got a Char Zaku 2. It's got the Wing Zero Custom from Endless Waltz. It's got, oh fuck, I think that's another Iron Blood Orphan suit, but I don't know the Iron Blood Orphan suits well enough to tell you which one that is. But it looks like they're pairing up rivals because, you know, it's the RX-78 and Char Zaku 2, Wing Zero and Epion, and that's Barbatos. It's the Vidar. Okay, yeah. So I'm guessing that's. Oh wait, Vidar. Let me check this. Let me check that out. Yeah, that's IBO. That's IBO. Okay. That's Iron Blood Orphans, right? Yeah. So it's got, you know, rival suits: RX-78 and Char Zaku 2, Wing Zero and Epion, and Barbatos and Vidar. So yeah, it's a bunch of rivals, you know, fighting each other, and it's you know, 6 pieces, 6 models, you know, $50 with all the terrain in the rulebook. And there's this you know, picture of, you know, demo pictures of people playing. You know, they use these in the commercial. Yeah, no, it's a good deal actually. It's actually a good deal. And I know what people are thinking. Like, some people are pointing out, like, okay, so we're gonna move ahead a little bit because we're, you know, gonna get into a topic here. Well, another thing, they're releasing paint for this. They're releasing paint for this for Gundam Assemble. Yeah, they're going to be releasing paints for Gundam Assemble. Like, they're actually going all in with this, with this thing. Like, they are, like Bamco isn't, like, you know, it doesn't look like they're half-assing this. They are actually going all in. They're not just releasing the minis, they're releasing paints for the minis. They want to actually make this a thing, you know, going forward now. So yeah, they're releasing a paint set for and a paint, you know, it's a start. It looks like it's a you know, the paint set will also come with minis, like different poses for the Gundam, etc. What I meant to say is, if the terrain is HeroScape compatible, I could print plenty of terrain. Yeah. You can paint them. Yeah, they're like Games Workshop minis. They come unpainted. You know, unpainted gray plastic. You gotta paint them yourself. I will say though, whoever they got to do these demo screen caps for the thing, buddy, thin your paints. Holy shit. Get Duncan Rhodes on this, man. You gotta thin that shit, all right? Thin your fucking paints. Also, trim your shit here on the legs. Guess the white is better than GW's. I mean, that's not hard, you know. That's really not hard. There are a lot better paints than Citadel paints out there. These will be easier to paint. Yeah, a lot more flat panels, not as much egregious detail. You know, that's such a fucking problem with a lot of 40K minis. All right, and then they started announcing new sets. Like they started announcing, you know, more sets on top of the launch. This is gonna launch in October with the main game, and it's Gundam Unicorn. It's they're releasing a Gundam Unicorn. It's what do you call it? Enamel or acrylic? I don't know paint that well. It's water-based. It's water-based paint. I remember that's one thing they pointed out. They're calling it water-based. I don't think it's enamel. I think it's, so that would probably be acrylic. Like I said, I'm not a paint guy. Am I gonna talk about the, I might hipster. But I'm, right, okay. Right, so they also announced, the first expansion set. It's, Gundam Unicorn, based. Casual reminder, unicorn hate is cringe and Western and gross. Don't hate unicorn. It's, you know, listen, people who hate unicorn probably also skip double zeta. So, yeah, you know what we say about double zeta skippers in this house. Ugh. But, yeah, this set, this is gonna be like I want to say this is a $40 set, something like that. Hold on, let me go back and check. Yeah, it's a $40 set. Oh yeah, I think it's 40 bucks. Yeah, it's 40 bucks. It's a $40 set. Comes with 3 models. And those 3 models are the Unicorn Gundam, the oh shit, what is that one? That's the one Banagher flew early in the show. That's the one Banagher flew early in the show. I forget what it's called off the top of my head. It's not the Hyakushiki, but it's based on the Hyakushiki. But yeah, it's that one. And then, the fuck is that little yellow thing? Oh, it's a small like mobile worker machine that Banagher pilots early in the show. So yeah, they're including that with it. Yeah, so that's that set, and that one's 40. And some close-ups of the Mini. Delta Plus. Thanks, Charza. Thanks. Yeah, it's the Delta Plus. It's yeah, and it's Banagher, not Banagher. It's Ridde's early suit from Unicorn, and they've got the Unicorn itself, and this little mobile worker thing. I want to point out, by the way, there's pictures. I'll look for them, by the way, but there's pictures of like they're gonna be doing things like the tanks and the fighters. So I think that's really cool. You're gonna be able to do combined arms, with your games. Like, so they will have tanks, they'll have fighters. They've got the balls and the Ogos. They got this little fucking scrungle mech right here, along with the Unicorn. They're doing that. It's not all mobile suits all the time. Gundam Assemble is on pre-order in Gundam Planet and USAG store, but they are charging above MSRP. I'm resisting that FOMO feeling. I already died to the FOMO feeling. I've already pre-ordered on USAGs for the starter set. Was hoping Delta Plus would appear in the set, instant buy. Yeah, I really can't wait for the what do you call it? I really can't wait for the the more of the Unicorn sets. I hope they do stuff for F91. I think they will. Like, I'd be very surprised if they didn't. But that's the first expansion revealed. The second expansion is let's see. I believe this is which the fuck one is this? Hold on. But yeah, this one's also coming out in October, also 40 bucks. This one is, I think this is G-Witch. I think this is Witch from Mercury. Okay, yeah. That's the Ariel. Yeah, that's Witch from Mercury. It's a Witch from Mercury set. Yeah, it's a Witch from Mercury set. It doesn't tickle my pickle, but I mean, hey, you know what? They're doing it. So the second expansion set will be Witch from Mercury. And yeah, there we go. Close up of the Ariel and the other 2 suits. I don't pretend to know G-Witch suits all that well outside the Ariel, but yeah. It also looks like, yeah, all the expansion sets will be themed around a given anime. So, I'm guessing which I like, by the way. I'm glad they're designing it in such a way that if you want to stick to a specific timeline, it's going to be easy to do that. Like a specific timeline or anime. Like, they're keeping all the Unicorn stuff together, all the 0079 stuff together. I like that's how they're doing it. That's good. That's actually makes it very good for collectors who want to focus on one thing, rather than like, you know, grab bag boxes. Like that first starter set is a grab bag box, sure, but it's at least like, you know, sticking to a theme of, you know, heroes and their rivals, you know, heroes and their char clones, like, you know, I'm glad, you know, if they're doing theming that makes sense. Like, that's something they could very easily fuck up, but they're not fucking it up, and I'm happy for that. Need them to get Zeta up in here, massive Psycho Gundam mini. I actually, listen, if they're doing warships, they'll probably do mobile armors. Like, yeah, they will probably do mobile armors, you know? So yeah, that was the, okay, so now we're going into more vague, but also obvious previews, right? Like, let's see, this is gonna be the first set to come out in November, expansion pack 3. Hey guys, get your belt out, it's Goofy time! Yeah, it's the Goof, and it's the Goof and the Zeon tanks. I forget what they're called, but yeah, it's the Zeon tanks in both tank mode and you know, flight mode, because they do that thing where the turret can detach and fly, which I always thought was really cool. I mean, it's an utterly laughable concept, but I love it anyway. I don't care. But yeah, the next set is, yeah, it's the Goof. 0079 Goof and not 8th MS Team Goof. If they don't do the 8th MS Team Goof, or an 8th MS Team set, or 2, or even 3, I'd be very surprised. You know there's people who want to run the Gundam ground type. You know there's people who want to. Snow Zaku, boy. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, no, fucking Ramba Rawl, you know, beating Amuro Ray so bad he went into a self-improvement cycle. Yeah, so that's one of the upcoming expansions. Another one coming out in November is I mean, listen, we all know which ones these are, right? It's Wing. It's Wing Gundam, Heavy Arms, and Death Scythe. Like their early series, you know, their early series version, not their mid-season upgrades. And yeah, that's that expansion. It's the Wing expansion. This one, like, these are very obviously CGI mock-ups because they're probably not as far into production when they decide to, you know, make the preview. But yeah, they're doing the Wing, or some of the Wing Gundam team. I wanna know what they're gonna box fucking Shenlong and Sandrock with, because yeah, because they're obviously doing 3 to a set, right? By the way, I want to point out a bit, you know, because we're on the topic right now. Today was the anniversary of Gundam Wing coming to America, and I'm still looking back on that like, I can't believe I hated this show. You know, because we're watching it on our Discord server right now. I'm just like, how did I hate this show? Well, I can answer that question. The dub sucks. The dub sucks shit, and I'm so mad I spent decades judging that show by the dub. Some will be in the TCG more than likely. I don't know if they're gonna keep doing that. They'll probably re-release those minis in Gundam Assemble proper. Oh, right, okay. And then in first set in December is another Wing set. We've got Talgis, Standard Leo, and the Space Leo. Like a Leo space type. So yeah, Talgis fans, Dragon Ranger, I know you're out there. This will be your set. The Talgis set. Yeah, it looks like they might be pushing a bit more Wing stuff. Gundam Wing Toonami, I'm so old. Man, me too. I was in high school when that shit came out. Oh, and Chanka, here's yours. What do you call it? Deluxe Set 2. This one's gonna be like 100 and... Oh, fuck. I seen the pricing, All right, yeah, you can apparently pre-order this already. This is $170. This is a $170 set, but it's basically the majority of like the major suits from Gundam Seed. Yeah, like let's zoom in. Yeah, like these are all Gundam Seed suits. And the Archangel, that what do you call it? Second row down on the right. That's the Archangel. That's like the hero ship from Gundam Seed. You have 4 strikes because the Strike Gundam has so many add-ons. And you get Dual Buster, Justice Blitz, and Bukus. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. $175 at the price of a combat patrol now? You know what? That's a good question. Let me go look because it's let's be real here. The GW raising the prices every 5 minutes. Let me go price combat patrols in let me go price combat patrols in fucking what do you call it? Here we go, combat patrol. Let's price combat patrols. Yeah, no, that's the price of a combat patrol. It's the price of a combat patrol for a full fucking set of stuff. Like a combat patrol right now is, hold on, let me bring this up for reference. So this set you're looking at is $170, is like $170 basically. And here are combat patrols. Same cost as just the models. That's actually a steal. Like, we can already just lay this to rest now. Gundam Assemble is competitively priced with Warhammer, against Warhammer. Like, yeah, all this versus, you know, well, let's find some Space Marines. Versus this for the same price, you know, playmat, terrain, rules, everything, and minis for the same cost as this. Seed units are going to sell out, yeah. The 0079 and Seed, the Universal Century and Seed stuff is going to sell quick. Some of the Wing stuff probably, especially with Western audiences. And that's the thing too. Is you know. Because here's the thing with Gundam Assemble, we're gonna go into more of the game stuff in a minute. As it currently stands, a large game of Gundam Assemble is five minis per team. If you have 5 minis, you can play a game of Gundam Assemble. For the first starter set, Ramen Dude, $100. It's $100. It's $100 and includes all of this, like the terrain rule, like I said, terrain rulebook, unit cards, tactics cards, dice, playmat, and all of these minis. So yeah, no, this is competitively priced, you know, against Warhammer. Close that. All right, yeah, I was looking for that earlier. Right, so that's all the previews so far of what's coming out, and yeah, no, it's a good deal. It's a good deal. These are actually well priced. And yeah, 5 models gets you a team to play with. Like, even if you're spending like $40 for 3 minis and expansion set, you only have 5 models to a squad in like the basic game. And I would not be surprised if Bandai Namco does like an advanced rule system down the line for larger armies, you know, as collections get bigger. And plus, you know, if you're just collecting, it's still a good cost too. It's still like, you know, say 3 really nice, well-sized, you know, miniatures for less than the cost of a Warhammer 40K special character. Like $20 less or something like that. It's about as much as a decently sized Gunpla. So yeah. Gundam is poised to dominate 40K and once again prove why too big to fail is a falsehood. Yeah, we're gonna get into that soon. We're gonna get into that soon, Mega Man. We're gonna, believe me when I say, we're gonna yap for a bit. I'm gonna say that Buku is most definitely taking the gun tank's place. Oh yeah, Chonk, I know you'll probably run a seed team when it gets that far. Mindy Bo, starter set is 100, starter set for 100 is the deluxe version. The cheaper version is 35. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, 100 for the big boy starter set. It's less than, you know, like a little over a third of that for the regular starter set. That's a really good, that's really good. That is unbelievably well priced, actually. That actually makes me wonder. Hold on, let me price something else by comparison. Let me price this on Amazon. Yeah, that's about the cost of a box of BattleTech minis. Yeah, no, it's priced equivalent to BattleTech. Looking that up now on Amazon, so yeah. Yeah, they say that's not bad. That's actually not, that's not bad at all. Yeah, like, okay, like a BattleTech box, like a box of BattleTech minis is, let's see. It depends on the box, but they seem to run like, looks like something like 25 to 40 for BattleTech. And it's, you know, it's some, what do you call it? It's, what's it called? It's, listen, it's Gunpla. Gunpla is reasonably well priced. You know, it's well priced and the plastic is, you know, it's quality. It you know, won't have the same, quality control issues that Catalyst has. Cause, you know, it's fucking, it's Bamco. They know their shit. They've been doing this forever. Any 00 sets? Not yet. Not yet. There haven't been 00 sets announced yet. Yeah, I'm on the Catalyst website, and yeah, the yeah, it's about 35 to 40 for 35 to 45 for BattleTech. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not a bad price for what you're getting. And much like BattleTech, yeah, like we said, 5 models is a large army. So yeah, it's not like, you know, 40K where you have to have like 100 models or more in your fucking army. The only army that has like, you know, at most a half dozen models is Imperial Knights, and you're charged $160 I think it's up to now per model for Imperial Knights. And what else? Right, yeah. Right. So some rules. So just some of the rules info I noticed. Like unit cards. Hold on. Dismiss the fucking ad. I'm yapping with my audience right now. Fuck. Okay. Yeah, like the unit cards, it uses like I'm gonna be honest. Like, okay, so it's a hex grid system, right? Like all these numbers are like for, we'll use the bazooka as the example, right? That's what do you call it? Like when it shows the middle unit, the middle value, the 4, that's the range. That's 4 hexes. Like that's how BattleTech does it. Like it's like the range of your weapons is a certain number of hexes. And then it's like what do you call it? So like also how it works. Like it uses an initiative-based alternating activation system. So none of that Warhammer bullshit where you get shot off the board. In your army gets shot off the board in one turn because you're waiting for all your units to go while the other guy moves all his units. It uses like initiative, like what do you call it? I want to say it's the the time at the top right, or on the right-hand part of the top left on the card, TL. I want to say that means timeline, and that's how far down the timeline, like the timeline. That's this upper bar here on the playmat where you place your model. So Char's Zaku 2 would go on the second position on the timeline. And then when you get to that part of the timeline meter, that's when it would get to go. And then the clock icon on your abilities, that's basically the timeline cost. And basically what happens is, like say you use the bazooka, right? You have to, you're on the second integer on the timeline when you can go. You use the bazooka to attack. That punts you 4 spaces down the timeline, and that's when you can go again. So basically, you're effectively, your cost of action is basically, determining your next position, on the initiative meter. And that's basically how it works. And then you use hexes, and you use and then how the damage values work. Basically, you roll that many die. Like you roll that many die. Like say you hit with the bazooka, you get to roll 7 dice, right? You get to roll 7 dice. Oh, and I want to say it's something on like a 5, like a 5 up is a hit. It's something like that. I forget exactly. I want to say all hit values are flat. So yeah. Sort of like the system GW used for Blackstone Fortress. Yeah, kind of like that. I will also say something I've noticed. You could very easily convert this to inches if you wanted to. Like if you wanted to homebrew a system that uses inches, you could do some very simple multiplication to to convert it to inches. If you wanted to have a non-hex based, version of the gameplay, you could homebrew that yourself pretty easily. Because I want to say what do you call it? Like everything moves, everything gets like I want to say it's 6. I want to say it's like what 3 hexes. You can move like 3 hexes or so per turn. Like 3, no, not 6 hexes. I want to say it's 3. 3 hexes is like how far you can move your unit per turn. Like you could very easily do some simple multiplication to come up with an inch system, Like, so it looks like a simple system, but one that's going to be fun to play, you know? Which I'm kind of glad, because I feel like more and more 40K, like we're going to use 40K as an example. I don't want to bring up Battletech, because Battletech kind of solves this on its own with Alpha Strike, with their Alpha Strike system. But it looks like this is gonna, like, you know, be a relatively simple system. And I think that's gonna do it a big favor in the long run, because, you know, that's gonna cut down on time to set up, time to, like, figure rules, time to, like, you know, check your stats. It's like, yeah, if 40K is having an increasing problem with Complexity Edition, and as much as, you know, 10th edition was meant to solve that, it didn't. It just got worse. Like, no shit. Like, legitimately, I think, you know, as time went on, 10th edition just got worse with the Complexity Edition. All right, sorry about that. I had to check something. Yeah, like, I don't know. I'm kind of glad this is using a very more simplistic kind of system, and I feel like, yeah, if somebody wants to make it a little more complex, they could very easily convert this shit into inches, you know? Like that. Like, that's genuinely what I believe. And yeah, and just, you know, because I point out real quick, you know, the screenshot. I don't know if I'm gonna get the video shellacked, because if I show you the actual preview video, because, you know, it's YouTube, and it's like, you know, Bandai, and it's a Japanese company. It'd be really funny if they copyright struck their own informative video on someone trying to inform them of the game. That would be funny. But yeah, this is the timeline that they showed. Again, you know, you place your unit based on the timeline value. You use an ability, it kicks you further down the timeline, and that's how it goes. And then you and the other player alternate going until you've done 10 phases, and then you go again, and then I want to say in a basic game you do 2 full sets of 10 phases, and then the game is over. Something else that looked neat that I watched from when they were going over the game. If a unit is destroyed, you can bring it back. Like you can bring the unit back. So yeah, basically the unit is removed from play for a set amount of time, and then gets brought in, and then can get brought back in. So yeah, I think it's a good system. Listen, I will say straight up, I will be a diehard UC chud during this. I will be a diehard Universal Century chud. That's what I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be looking into potentially finding a way to set this up on Tabletop Sim, because I think that's gonna be a good thing to do, is gonna, like, get this going on Tabletop Sim. We have sources of models that can be ripped by people, like a Gundam Breaker 4 on PC. So yeah, Bandai add Moon Gundam and I will buy it all. It wouldn't surprise me if they add Moon, honestly. Yeah, no, I legit though, I'm actually really excited about this. Like I said, I just pre-ordered this, the big starter box. Hi, Damien, how you doing?
It was terrible.
What was terrible? Listen. I can soy pog about things if I want and be, you know, a pre-order Andy. Also, let me give you a shout out real quick. Hold on. Let me give Damien a shout out. Go follow him. He's good people. Yeah, go give Damien a shout out. Okay, I'm in about a minute here. I'm gonna have to fuck off because of ads. It's never exact when it starts. But yeah, in about a minute here, there will be an ad popping up. I'm gonna go AFK during the ad break, but I will be back. We'll be talking about this more. Don't worry. You're good. Just won a match at Fortnite. 31 crowns this season. Thanks for the shout out. Hey, grats, dude. Grats, dude. Yeah, listen. Listen, man, you're remember, you're good at video games. Everyone else sucks, like unironically. Japanese companies usually prioritizing the Japanese market, not prioritizing the international market. The international market is usually an afterthought. Hopefully this changes. Well, this is simultaneous release. Madrid. This is a simultaneous release in America and Japan. So yeah, they're going for both markets here. But right, you know what? That ad break will be starting any second now. I'm gonna go AFK. I'll be back when the ad break is over. So yeah, everybody hold on. We're not going anywhere. I just don't want to fuck over the YouTube guys during a 3-minute ad. So yeah, I'll be right back.
Out there, yes, clear. Loud and clear. In the suspicion. Pacific. 4423 live, we'll get them all to station. Command cut. C7? Yes, ma'am, we'll be clear, and 233 will be clear on N4, E. Edward, and 2 will both be a 50. 220, I'll be going out there. 233 will be clear on N4, and 2 will both be a 50. Out there, yes, clear. Loud and clear. In the suspicion. Pacific. 4423 live, we'll get them all to station. Command cut. C7? Yes, ma'am, we'll be clear, and 233 will be clear on N4, E. Edward, and 2 will both be a 50. 220, I'll be going out there. 233 will be clear on N4, and 2 will both be a 50. Out there, yes, clear. Loud and clear. In the suspicion. Pacific. 4423 live, we'll get them all to station. Command cut. C7? Yes, ma'am, we'll be clear, and 233 will be clear on N4, E. Edward, and 2 will both be a 50. 224, I'll be going out there. 233 will be clear on N4, and 2 will both be a 50. Out there, yes, clear. Loud and clear. In the suspicion. Pacific. 4423 live, we'll get them all to station. Command cut. C7? Yes, ma'am, we'll be clear, and 233 will be clear on N4, E. Edward, and 2 will both be a 50. 224, I'll be going out there. 233 will be clear on N4, and 2 will both be a 50. Out there, yes, clear. Loud and clear. In the suspicion. Pacific. 4423 live, we'll get them all to station. Command cut. C7? Yes, ma'am, we'll be clear, and 233 will be clear on N4, E. Edward, and 2 will both be a 50. 224, I'll be going out there. 233 will be clear on N4, and 2 will both be a 50. Out there, yes, clear. Loud and clear. In the suspicion. Pacific. 4423 live, we'll get them all to station. Command cut. C7? Yes, ma'am, we'll be clear, and 233 will be clear on N4, E. Edward, and 2 will both be a 50.
All right, we're back, everyone. How y'all doing? Hope you didn't get bored to tears during the break. I didn't want to fuck over my what do you call it? Yeah, my Twitch viewers again with a 3-minute ad break. So, and miss out on discussion. So, right. Okay. On the topic of Gundam, and this is something I wanted to touch upon a little bit. Getting into Gundam. Now, I've gone over this before on stream, but I figured with Gundam Assemble being announced and, a lot of Warhammer fans being really frustrated with Warhammer and maybe not knowing a lot about Gundam, I figured, hey, you know what? Maybe you'd want to know how to get into Gundam. So, yeah, I figured go over that for people. I mean, why not, right? And Xeon did nothing wrong. Yes, exactly, Mr. Personality. Xeon did nothing wrong. Listen, Sydney, Australia, it had it coming, all right? It deserved to get that colony dropped on it. Episode 1, bro, that's where you start. Yeah, no, exactly, Megaman. Unironically, that's where you start. But, right, okay, let me go over real quick. What is Gundam, for those who don't know? So, what it is a long-running, I want to say it's going on 40 years now, Japanese anime series. The thrust of the plot is it's sort of unified Earth government. Think like the UN, but with actual military power and not just sending sternly worded letters. Oppressing the people who live in giant space colonies up in space. The people in the space colonies one day get fucking sick of it and attack Earth in a bid for independence. And this usually results in violent, bloody wars between Earth and the colonies. And usually amongst, if fought in these wars, used as a weapon in these wars, are high-performance, bipedal war machines, mechs, basically, called mobile suits. And the top of the top, the best of these mobile suits, often holding, experimental technology, are the Gundams. They're the titular mechs of the Gundam franchise. And the original Gundam anime, released in 1979, it still holds up. It's still a really good anime. It probably always will be a really good anime, despite, don't get me wrong, the animation isn't perfect. There's some weird story quirks, and the original series was ultimately, I want to say, canceled, and then they had to end it early and weren't able to develop a lot of the concepts later. But it's still a really good show, and there's a reason it's considered a classic after 40 years. And yeah, it's just really good. And there's some people try to overcomplicate getting into Gundam. I'm looking at you, Trash Taste. Gundam is not hard to get into at all. Effectively bigger, more badass. Oh wait, I love Gundam. Hooray! Fetty's blown the fuck out. Hey, Mossy, how you doing? You know what? Let me get you a shout out real quick too here. Effectively bigger, more badass carrier-based aircraft. Yeah, no, they have whole mobile suit carriers or a whole thing. Let's see. Let's get you a shout out there, Mossy. Oh, you're playing Helldivers 2. Nice. Right, so, Gundam. How do you get into Gundam? Right, okay, so, there's two major parts to Gundam, and this is probably what causes most of the confusion. Those two parts are Universal Century and Alternate Universe. Universal Century is a single, coherent timeline. Every Universal Century Gundam anime is set in this timeline. There's a generally accepted upon core set of animes you should watch. There's a bunch of side stories you should watch, but it's all part of one timeline. And that's, you know, that's the single longest running set of Gundam animes. It was the original one from 79. It's still going today. They just had a movie come out, you know, this year, set in the Universal Century timeline. The other one is the alternate universe Gundam. That is a bunch of like individual alternate timelines that basically they don't influence Universal Century at all. They don't influence each other unless there's like, say, a direct follow-up to one of those timelines, like a second series or a movie. Now, getting into Gundam. This is the chronological watch order for Universal Century Gundam. Again, this is chronological. I have, you know, little asides in here. Like, for example, like chronologically, Gundam the Origin comes first because it's a prequel. I don't recommend watching it first. I recommend watching it second. But this is the, you know, basically the core timeline. And these series are Mobile Suit Gundam the Origin, Mobile Suit Gundam, that's the original, MS Igloo, the Hidden 1 Year War and its direct follow-up, Apocalypse 0079, Mobile Suit Gundam 8th MS Team, Mobile Suit Gundam 0080 War in the Pocket, and Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt. These series form a period during the Universal Century called the 1 Year War. It's like the founding conflict of the setting. Those are then followed up by the following series in chronological order. Mobile Suit Gundam 0083 Stardust Memory, Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam, Mobile Suit Gundam Double Zeta. We do not skip Double Zeta in this house. We do not skip Double Zeta. Don't listen to people who say skip Double Zeta. Watch Double Zeta. It's unironically peak fiction. But then following that is Mobile Suit Gundam Char's Counterattack, Mobile Suit Gundam Twilight Axis, Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn, and Mobile Suit Gundam Narrative. And this forms a period of history called the Neo-Zeon War. The next set of series are called Mobile Suit Gundam Hathaway, which just had a sequel come out in Japanese theaters. This is an old list. I need to update it. But just had a sequel come out in theaters called Mobile Suit Gundam Hathaway, Witch of Circe. This is going to be a movie trilogy, so the Hathaway trilogy is all one viewing. And then Mobile Suit Gundam F91, Mobile Suit Victory Gundam, and then the live-action film G-Savior. These form what's called the Warring Space States period of Universal Century. And then there's two animes. They're listed as alternate universes, but they're actually set in the Universal Century timeline. These are Gundam Reconquista in G and Turn A Gundam. And I call them the post-Universal Century calendar series because in those series it's no longer called the Universal Century anymore, but they are part of the timeline. A couple of minor notes on Universal Century. There is an MS Igloo 2, the Gravity Front. It would immediately follow up Apocalypse 0079. I personally do not like it. I thought it was kind of bad. You can watch it if you want. It won't hurt you to watch it. I just wasn't a fan. When you're watching Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolt, the OVA or the OVAs or the movies are both fine. Neither contains additional footage or cut footage. It's just the OVAs slapped together as one continuous film, or two continuous films. And then another is the Zeta Gundam movie trilogy recut. Avoid it. It changes the ending of Zeta Gundam in such a way that Double Zeta and Char's counterattack, and thus everything that happens after, can't happen. So yeah, do not watch the Zeta Gundam movie trilogy recut. The original series of Gundam, its movie trilogy recut, I actually recommend. In fact, it's kind of arguable that the creator of Gundam decided that that was the canon version of the story based on a flashback in Char's counterattack, which I cannot reveal because spoilers. But either the original TV series or the movie trilogy recut for the original Gundam are both perfectly valid ways to watch. When the viewer inevitably comes up base Zaku enjoyer, the origin becomes epic Zaku fan service, eye candy, yum. Yeah, exactly. Now listen, there are people who don't like the origin, try to say it's not canon. Listen, they go off it, when it comes to Universal Century, there is a very simple rule that Sunrise sticks to. If it's animated, it's canon. And that's how simple it is. The only one in here that's questionably canon is G-Savior because it's live action. But as far as I'm concerned, G-Savior is canon, Mark Horan is one of the best Gundam pilots ever, and the G-Savior is a fucking top tier Gundam. I don't care what people say. We stand G-Savior in these parts. I am G-Savior's strongest soldier. But then there's the AU Gundams. Now, the AUs, again, none of these are connected to Universal Century, like canon Universal Century. They are all their own timelines. Some have sequel series that you can, you watch in that order, and they're all part of that particular AU timeline, but none of these individual series cross over with each other. Okay, so the AU Gundam series, they are, and this is again, I want to say this is release order. Mobile Fighter G Gundam, New Mobile Report Gundam Wing, and the OVA Endless Waltz. There's an OVA and a film version of Endless Waltz. That's the follow-up. I recommend the movie version personally. The movie version is better than the OVA, at least from, parts edited in that I've seen. I thought it flowed better than the OVA. So yeah, so the Endless Waltz OVA or movie follow-up, I recommend the movie. Then After War Gundam X, Mobile Suit Gundam Seed, plus Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Destiny, that's a sequel series. There is a OVA called, that I forgot to list here because I'm stupid, called Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Stargazer, that goes between, I want to say that takes place a couple of episodes into Seed Destiny. And then there's the Mobile Suit Gundam Seed Freedom, which is the movie follow-up to Seed Destiny. The next one is Mobile Suit Gundam 00 and its follow-up film, Mobile Suit Gundam 00 Awakening of the Trailblazer. Then there's Mobile Suit Gundam Age. Next comes the build series. The build series are basically Yu-Gi-Oh! With plastic model kits, and those are Gundam Build Fighters and its follow-up, Build Fighters Try, Gundam Build Divers and its follow-up, Build Divers Re-Rise, and Gundam Build Metaverse. And then the most recent three Gundam series are Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans, Mobile Suit Gundam The Witch from Mercury, and Mobile Suit Gundam, it's pronounced G-Cux. A note on G-Cux real quick, it is ostensibly Universal Century, but it is an alternate timeline where Zeon won the 1 Year War. So even though it is Universal Century, on technicality, it is still an alternate universe because it follows a different timeline of events for Universal Century. It's a Universal Century where Zeon won the war and things turned out much different. And any individual series, you can just pick up and go. I would say only really for G-Cux would you need prior experience with Gundam. And even then, it's just the original series. Just so you know what G-Cux is building off of. But other than that, really, any single one of these alternate universe Gundam animes, you can pretty much dive right into. Watch it, its follow-ups, whatever follow-ups it has, in the proper order. But so you can dive right into Gundam Seed and its follow-ups, or Gundam Wing, Build Fighters, 00, G, and you can watch a damn good anime with no real need for prior experience on Gundam. It doesn't really matter which way you go, your option is always Episode 1, bro. And going back to Universal Century really quick. This is just a minor note on Universal Century. If you don't want to watch it like all of this, if all of this is too much, then select the following series to watch because they're effectively the core narrative of Universal Century. You watch the original Mobile Suit Gundam TV series or the movie trilogy recut. Then you watch Zeta Gundam, Gundam Double Zeta, and then Char's Counterattack. Those 3 anime series and the Char's Counterattack, which is a movie, that's the core of Universal Century. Everything else branches off from those 4. And yeah, that's it. That's getting into Gundam. It's that easy. It is just that easy. It is not hard at all. And anybody, again, trash taste, looking at you, who tells you it's hard to get into Gundam is not a Gundam fan. It is not a hard show or franchise to get into. Pick a timeline, pick either UC or AU, and and go. It's really that simple. Just go, watch it, enjoy yourself. And I personally, as I've said before, I'm a diehard Universal Century chud. That's my personal preference. I prefer Universal Century. But even the Gundams that I personally don't like are at worst, in my opinion, just mid. Like, I don't like Witch from Mercury, but I think Witch from Mercury is just mid, Like, and if that's the worst it is, that's fine, That is perfectly acceptable. Mid is not bad. Been a fan from a small kid, still haven't seen Double Zeta. Mossy, you gotta correct that. You gotta correct that immediately. Go watch Double Zeta. It's actually peak. I get, don't get me wrong. I get why people are thrown off by Double Zeta, especially after the tone of how Zeta ends. I'm going to assume you've seen Zeta, right? I won't spoil because there might be people who've never seen Gundam in chat. But I get it. The tone shift from the end of Zeta to the beginning of Double Zeta, it's a massive tone shift. It's almost, it can almost causes mood whiplash. But you know what? I feel like if they'd continued the dour tone of Zeta going into those early episodes of Double Zeta, I think it would have been oppressive to watch. It would have been like how Victory Gundam is just oppressive to watch at times. We watched all of Universal Century on the on our Discord server. We watched up to G Savior. We haven't watched Reconquista and G and Turn A on the server yet, but we watched all the way up to G Savior. And Victory was oppressive to watch. It is such an oppressive, dark, dour slog of an anime. It is a good anime. I fucking love it, okay? But if they hadn't done that mood whiplash going into Double Zeta, it would have been like that, and I don't think Double Zeta would have done as good as it did if it had had that kind of mood. So no, I don't mind the fact that the first 15 or so episodes are a bit on the lighthearted side. I think it was necessary. And I think a lot of people don't think about that. I'm having a moment here, Mossy. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. I just had a moment because some people are really, really up their ass about saying skip Double Zeta. You're not one of them, I get that. But there are people out there that are like that. And my God, man, I just, don't skip Double Zeta, it's actually peak. As a guy who sad shit, Victory was just depressing. Victory is okay, this is a hell of a comparison. Victory is watching Victory is like watching Schindler's List, okay? Schindler's List is an amazing movie. But holy shit, I have to psych myself up to watch it because of how fucking depressing it is. I feel miserable after watching Schindler's List. And Victory had me feeling the same way. I felt miserable when it was over. Not because it was bad, but just because of how dark and dour and gloomy and tragic it all was. You want to see the Hyzaks and the Gyaradogas. Yeah. Mossy, I always thought it was funny how the original Gundam gets to Zeta, and basically the Zaku and the GM switch sides. It's literally the fucking teams have been balanced meme, you know? You got the Zakus in the form of the Hyzak fighting for the Federation. You got the GMs fighting for, you know, what's basically not Zeon in the form of the AU. It's actually kind of funny. Watched that again last weekend, not miserable for me. Oh, you mean hello, Erican, how you doing? Yeah, we're talking Gundam right now. We were just talking Gundam Assemble. Yeah, you mean Schindler's List? You mean what, Schindler's List or Victory Gundam? Cause, yeah, I don't know, I can't watch... You didn't answer the question, no, yeah, you didn't answer the question. Oh, Schindler's List. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, no, I can't watch Schindler's List without psyching myself up. It is such a depressing movie. Like, good God, man. Trying to pull a Razor Fist rant? Are we gonna talk about StarCraft soon? No, I'm not trying to pull a Razor Fist rant. Listen, I could rip off a lot of streamers and YouTubers if I wanted to, but I ain't ripping off Razor Fist. I'll rip off someone with a valuable opinion. Hyzak is a special place in your heart as your first SDGO pull from as a free-to-play kid. Oh, nice, dude, nice. But yeah, like, one moment, my fucking... My throat's drying out from talking. I need to go get something to drink. Hold on, everyone. I'll be right back real quick. I'll be right back. Hold on. Here. Okay, go over here. Be right back. There we go. All right. One moment, everyone. Almost back. Almost ready. Almost here. Hold on. Okay. Oh, there we go. All right. Stardust Memories, a blue balling ending for me. Rivals not killing each other in some way was like letting Memento and Coke cool off from bubbling. Man, I don't dislike the... Okay, I'm not gonna spoil, because again, I'm trying to talk about Gundam right now, assuming people haven't watched it. I don't hate the ending of 0083. I think the hate of the ending is a little overblown, but I will say there was one character who basically got off scot-free, who... Yeah, no, they did not deserve to get off scot-free for the shit they pulled. You know who I'm talking about, Mossy. That bitch. You know who I'm talking about. Like, okay, it was really funny how, oh, hey, JFX, 124, the Void. Yeah, exactly, the Void. It was the, oh my God. Man, fucking... It took a long, okay, when we were watching Universal Century on the Discord server, the Universal Century Gundam animes, it was so funny how everyone considered her worst girl, right? Until we met Quest Pariah from Char's Counterattack, and then everybody hated her as worst girl. And then Katarzyna from Victory showed up, and then everyone hated her most. It was like back to back to back worst girls. Nobody liked Katarzyna. Like, legitimately, man, Quest Pariah had that fucking, you know, Popeye's biscuit of worst girl status, you know.
Remember the main lesson about Gundam. Beware the space cougars on God.
Yeah, exactly, Chanka. But yeah, no, Quest Pariah had that fucking Popeye's biscuit of, worst girl status, and then fucking Katagina just came along and ripped it out of her fucking mouth, like, holy shit. Oh my god, legitimately, Katagina from Victory is my least favorite Gundam character ever. Like, ever. Like, actually, just a bitch. Just a fucking bitch. And it's like, not even like as a bad character. Like, it's not even as a bad character. She's a well-written character. It's just, oh my god, she's such a fucking bitch. Holy shit. Katagina Lois is a fucking psychopath of a woman. Exactly, yeah. She's just an opportunistic psychopath who goes with the flow of the shit happening to her, and then literally decides to be. She looks at all the death and destruction and carnage and trauma and war, and is like, how can I make this benefit me? Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, okay, but then again, Tamino had some spicy shit to say about feminism and Victory, and I just released my Starship Troopers video today. Victory Gundam is next. Victory Gundam is next. There's some shit in Victory Gundam that I need to comment on, and not as criticism, as praise. And that's my next video project, just in case you all were wondering. I got Starship Troopers out, Victory Gundam is next. I'll probably also cut this the getting into Gundam bit of this stream I did out and do that as a separate video, like a separate informative video, I'll probably do that. Tamino was in his kill 'em all Tamino phase. Yeah, no. Combination of depression, getting jerked around by Sunrise due to the Bandai merger, and then the fact is he was going through a messy divorce. Yeah, no. Bro had some shit to say during Victory Gundam. Guess you need to watch Victory Gundam. Yeah, no, Victory Gundam is good. And like I said, it's depressing as shit. So be ready for that. It's not bad, but holy shit, it'll leave you contemplating life. It is a rough watch. Again, not in terms of quality, in terms of tone. It is a very rough watch. Oh, but yeah, no, man, going back to Gundam Assemble though, I mean, listen, I know that this was gonna come up kind of eventually. Y'all know what I'm about to talk about in reference to, what's this? Everyone's reaction to the Cyberpunk show sort of vibe. Yes, exactly. It ends and then you're just like David Martinez from the end of that one episode doing the 1,000-yard stare, it's exactly like that. It's got imagine the Cyberpunk Edge Runners vibe for 50 episodes instead of 10 or whatever it was for Edge Runners. But right, yeah. So I feel like this was going to come up eventually, talking about Gundam Assemble, because it's kind of part of the conversation of Gundam Assemble, whether we like it or not, and that's Warhammer. I want to talk about, like, when it comes to, basically, this is okay, so I've talked about this before. In fact, I'm going to bring it up, because I talked about this months ago, right? I actually talked about this months ago on Twitter. I wrote an article about it and everything. Like how, okay, let's get this up on the screen now. There we go. This is an article I wrote a while back. Long story short, it's about the differences between, say, collecting Warhammer, collecting Gunpla, pricing points, Games Workshop's attitude about their company. It's on my Twitter account if you want to go read it. You know what? I'll link it in chat. I'll link it in chat too. Hold on. If you want to go read it. Link it in each chat separate, because I don't think I can actually send a link through, yeah. Yeah, that. Oh, and I can send links through Restream chat. Okay, I should have known, but yeah, no. Yeah, that article. There's the article. If you want to read it on your own time, go ahead. Remind me when the stream's over to put it in the the down below for people to read too, if they're watching the stream afterward. But basically what the article is about. I'm not going to read the whole thing out. That would take more time than I wanted to. But basically, what it's basically about is. So here's the problem with Games Workshop. Here's the problem with Games Workshop as a company, and I've gone over this, when I did my last video about Games Workshop, how I'm not gonna record. I'll talk about it on stream gladly, but I'm not gonna record more Games Workshop videos, for my YouTube channel. I don't want to because it's a depressing topic to talk about. To do over and over and over again and have to put the work into actually editing the video and release it and all that stuff. It's depressing to just talk about this company as it begins to fall. Because the problem with Games Workshop, and this is basically my point in the article, they're only number one for want of competition. That's the long and short of it. Games Workshop is only number one for want of competition. They're not number one because they're good at what they do. They're not number one for their quality. They're not number one for their pricing. They're the only company that has somehow managed to fall upwards enough that they've maintained their position on the top, and everybody else who has tried to steal their thunder has fucked up so hard eventually that they just they get, even if they're, beating Games Workshop in sales, they get punted off the top. That's how it is. That's just how it is with Games Workshop as a company. Gundam Assembles Set 1 seems like a good deal. Yeah, $100 for all that. $100 for everything you need to play. And, and starting off, it looks, like I said, it looks like they're basing it on Abawa Q. So it's like, right out the door, you can recreate a classic battle from UC Gundam. You were gonna say their competition's retarded 99% of the time? Yeah, okay, let's go with a very recent example, okay? Very recent. That example, Trench Crusade. Remember how Trench Crusade was just stealing Warhammer's thunder? Remember that? It was stealing Warhammer's thunder, hard, right? Is it beans, Bo? Super Jesse, what are you talking about? You need to consume. Jesse, Super Jesse, what are you talking about consuming beans? I'm not following you at all here. Yeah, legit, bro. You got me. You got me a little confused right now. I don't know what you're trying to communicate. Battletech, yeah, Battletech's another great example. We'll go into that in a minute. Listen, I just want Super Jesse to clarify what he means about bringing up beans. I'm not tracking at all. My brain's a little fuck right now. It's trying to piece together what everything is. You were referencing a meme or some dumb thing you thought a while back. Oh, okay. I just didn't get the joke. That's on me. But, right. Right. Okay. So, historically, when was the last time Games Workshop fucked up super hard? It was the death of Total War Warhammer. I'm so used to it being Total War Warhammer, I called it Total War Warhammer. I don't fucking believe that. Warhammer Fantasy. It was the death of Warhammer Fantasy and the stillbirth of Age of Sigmar. Do you want to know how bad it was for Games Workshop at the time? Let me show you. This was the top tabletop game list in fall of 2015, around the time Age of Sigmar came out. I want you all to drink in this image. I want you all to study it. All right? Star Wars X-Wing was number 1. 40K was number 2. Star Wars Armada was number 3. War Machine was number 4. Star Trek Attack Wing, fucking Star Trek from WizKids was in the top 5, in number 5. Age of Sigmar didn't even make the fucking list, okay? You didn't know Star Wars is a tabletop series? It does. It's, yeah, X-Wing, Armada, and Legion. And I don't think Legion was out yet when this came out, but there's Legion too, and they're all good games. I actually recommend them. Fantasy Flight Games doesn't publish it anymore, but they're still being made, and it's good shit. Bo's like me when Bo and others whip out another unnecessary political jargon mid-conversation. A little bit, yeah, I do apologize for that, hun. But yeah, no, and fucking Games Workshop got knocked off. You know, Legion came out in 2019, 2020. Okay, yeah. So that was a few years out, right? I knew it wasn't out at this time. I didn't know when it came out, but yeah, like that. Okay. But yeah, no, Games Workshop was knocked off number one by Star Wars. Do you want to know why? Do you want to know why Star Wars got knocked off number 1? You want to know why? Because Star Wars burnt all its cultural currency with the awful sequels and other Disney Star Wars releases over a period of about 4 or 5 years. And then on top of that, Fantasy Flight Games did something to fuck up. I don't quite recall what it was. But basically they fucked up super hard. And around that time, Games Workshop started their comeback cycle. So they were able to get back on the number 1 spot. It wasn't that Games Workshop did well. Don't get me wrong. 8th edition was a contentious release with Warhammer fans. A lot of people were not happy with Warhammer 40K 8th edition. But the reason GW was able to take the number 1 spot again was because Fantasy Flight Games and Disney, who own the license for Star Wars, fucked up super hard. It had nothing to do with 8th edition being a good edition. 8th edition was really fucking rough. It took until like the end of the edition for some armies to leave, to leave the fucking, the hell that was the indexes. A lot of armies were really neglected. Some, a lot of them were really overpowered. I, for one, remember the Iron Hands meta, okay? 8th edition was a fucking mess. But it was a mess that got to number 1 for 2 reasons. 1, Disney and Fantasy Flight fucked up. That was 1. 2, COVID. COVID started in late 2019, and you know what happened in late 2019? Everybody had nowhere to go and nothing to do. Well, you know what they could do? They could look into potentially picking up a hobby while they were stuck at home. And guess what managed to at the same time get a huge following on Tabletop Simulator? Warhammer. Suddenly people who couldn't play Warhammer could play Warhammer for the first time, And people who were trapped at home could finally play Warhammer. People really underestimate what the Tabletop Simulator 40K server, rest in peace, the Wokoids got to you, and so did Games Workshop. Rip in peace. People really underestimate the impact that server had on spreading word of mouth about 40K as a game, as something, which would lead people to start collecting. People really underestimate it, I remember walking out of Last Jedi and saying to myself, what the hell did I just watch? That was everybody, honestly. I remember catching COVID and everything had an aftertaste of vomit. Oh yeah, no, I know. I never caught COVID. I never got a vax. I never got the vax either. And I have never caught COVID. So yeah, I guess I'm just built different, but right. It really was the combination of everyone stuck at home looking to get into a hobby and word of mouth about Warhammer at the time is what caused Games Workshop's late 2019 into 2022 financial boom. That's what caused that. It really was COVID. And honestly, you know, we've seen what, you know, happens when Games Workshop fucks up, like as they've been fucking up recently, right? Bad rules, bad lore, bad minis. You know, I'm not counting Age of Sigmar in this because Age of Sigmar is an afterthought. But seriously though, they've been striking out over and over and over again. And you know the funny thing is now, you know, unironically, the funny thing is now, and I will admit this, BattleTech is number 2 right now. BattleTech is the number 2 tabletop game right now. Catalyst Game Labs, who need to beg for fucking money to keep the lights on. Like, Catalyst is not in a good spot, don't get me wrong. They have no money. They have no money. They have to beg on Kickstarter to make anything. And the first time they didn't, you know what they did? They wasted all that money on that BattleTech Gothic fiasco, which fucking flopped. But you know what? Regular old BattleTech still sells. It's currently number 2 behind 40K. Games Workshop's gonna be Amazon product by 2035. Oh yeah, we'll go into that in a bit. That wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, no, fucking BattleTech is number 2. People are dissatisfied with Warhammer for a bunch of reasons. And it doesn't matter how much people cite the fucking, you know, the financial reports. All financial reports are creative accounting to begin with. They literally don't matter. They literally don't matter. Like, I will remind you all how Ubisoft was reporting how well they were doing right before they weren't and everything went to shit. So remember that. All financial reports are creative accounting. When it comes to, you know, maintaining their place as the number 1 tabletop provider of tabletop war games, it is literally just people too stupid to do it well. Trench Crusade was poised to be the next big thing, right? In fantasy tabletop. And then Trench Crusade has bombed so unbelievably hard, it makes Hiroshima and Nagasaki look like a firecracker, okay? The fall of Trench Crusade is going to go down in history as a legendary failure, okay? And they were poised. You can't see me holding my fingers together this fucking close to being a force to be reckoned with, okay? And then they did the last thing any budding company could have done, and that was attack their customers. All these Warhammer fans who are sick of Warhammer on both sides of the aisle, not just the left, not just the right, the right and the left, Wokehammer and Chudhammer. Don't get me wrong, the people in Wokehammer who glaze the way 40K's going, they are legit like the fucking gif from Tokyo Ghoul of the guy eating the hamburger and vomiting. They're doing it because they are politically invested in the way Games Workshop is going, but they don't enjoy it. So always remember that. Both sides of the political coin flocked to Trench Crusade because of how cool it looked, right? And then they attacked their customers. And also, don't misunderstand me, just as many people who are unironically leftists got banned from the community as people on the right. Only the most extreme people on the left were allowed to stay. Like the communists and the wokeoids and whatever. Check my DMs. All right, I'll do that while I'm saying this. But, right. Like, it wasn't just people on the right who were kicked out of Trench Crusade. What their developers did was so apocalyptically retarded that they permanently crippled their reach. They permanently crippled their reach because all the people who were affected on both sides turned away. And they only had people like who were like politically invested now in Trench Crusade because of the developer's choice on their side. And because of that, they kept catering more and more to that side and not to an actual audience. But we don't really need to talk about that as much because just look at their fucking production. Look at the fucking minis, the resin traps, the fucking printer quality, everything. It's awful. And they're fucking more corrupt than Games Workshop in their practices. They could have taken number one, but they're so fucking retarded that they just fucking fumbled it, like in the worst way possible. And honestly though, that is the history of Games Workshop and why they fucking fail. Like, okay, like BattleTech, right? Fucking BattleTech, okay? For the longest time, BattleTech was the number one tabletop game. Nothing could beat, it was the number one tabletop war game. Nothing could beat it. Like legit nothing could beat, BattleTech. It was the number one tabletop war game. Do you want to know what happened? FASA, the company FASA decided they didn't want to do tabletop anymore because there was no money in it, and they sold off all their assets. That was when 40K took the number one position. Games Workshop got to number one because their primary competition was so fucking retarded. Like that is what happened. Like that is how Games Workshop took the number one position. Hopefully Land and Sea Minis game will beat CGL like it owes them money. Oh no, don't get me wrong. Okay. Here's where I'm going with all this, right? Here's where I'm going with all this, because we're gonna get into this in a minute. Well, not a minute, right fucking now, right? Basically, the Gundam Assemble stuff, the reason Games Workshop, now don't get me wrong. This is not gonna kill Games Workshop. They're not gonna collapse as a company. Like, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying the company's gonna die, right? They're about to get the shit slapped out of them though. Like backhand, 5 fingers, knock the taste right out of their mouth. That is about to happen. Because what you have here is a company like Games Workshop is worth something like fucking 4.5 billion, right? They're not very big. They're not very big as a company. Hold on. Bandai Namco net worth. They're a $4.5 billion company that struggles to we're talking about how we talked about Gundam Assemble. We talked about getting into Gundam a little bit. Now we're talking about Games Workshop and their eternal fuck ups and how Gundam Assemble is gonna slap them across the face. Your local store is excited. Yeah, no, like legit. I don't want to go off anecdotal evidence because anecdotal evidence will always be anecdotal. But I've been hearing the buzz about Gundam Assemble. There's a lot of people excited for it. But, right. Games Workshop is a Fuck you, Exorn, piece of shit. I wasn't ready. Oh my God. Oh, okay. I need a second here. Okay. Reorient. Ground yourself. Okay. Of course, Gundam would slap Games Workshop. It's freaking Gundam. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Here's where I'm going with this. Financials. So, Games Workshop, $4.5 $4.5 billion company, right? They're not that big. Games Workshop isn't that big. That's a lot of money, don't get me wrong. But in terms of, major game producing companies, it's not that big. Let's see. Let's look at Hasbro, right? Hasbro is Hasbro, with Magic the Gathering, D&D and all that, is worth 13 billion. Games Workshop isn't even worth half of what Hasbro is worth. And now what we've got here with Bandai Namco, who own Sunrise, who own Gundam, you have a damn near $17 billion company with some of the most, with either the license to some of the most popular franchises in the world. Because don't get me wrong, when it comes to the #1 franchise in Japan, it is a constant war between Gundam and Dragon Ball, with one or the other edging out every now and then. One or the other edging out, getting the #1 spot. Last I checked, it was Gundam. It's been Gundam for a while. Dragon Ball Z will probably take it back, but then Gundam will take it back. It's a constant fight between them, right? But Bandai Namco is worth $17 billion. And on top of this, Bandai Namco is a company with a decades-long history of high-quality, efficiently produced miniature production. Not miniature, but model kits. They do model kits, right? Namco is basically the world leader in model kits, I'd say. If I'm wrong, tell me, but I'm pretty certain they're #1 when it comes to model kits. And Gunpla is huge for them. They have tons of experience with marketing, producing, distributing, and selling model kits. They're jumping into tabletop, but they're not jumping in inexperienced. They know what they're doing. Are they new to tabletop wargaming? Yes, they are new to tabletop wargaming, but that's all they're new to. They're not new to the rest of it. They are very experienced with everything needed to print, produce, distribute, and sell a tabletop wargame, and they have the money to prove it. They have the money and the success to prove it. What is Games Workshop with they could barely, a fifth, a quarter, I don't know, something like that, of what Bandai Namco is capable of in terms of overall value, gonna do to compete with this? What can they do to compete with this? It's taken them this long to make 3 factories for Warhammer stuff. And the second factory was bogged down in construction hell for years. More than likely, the third one will be too. It's gonna take them a long time to get that third factory up and running. Bandai Namco does not have that problem. They do not have the logistical problems, the production problems, and the distribution problems that Games Workshop does. Games Workshop building a third factory is just, it's like trying to, bury a turd under more turds. I'm sorry, all you're creating is one big pile of shit. If you don't solve your basic problems with your first 2 factories, building a third one is not gonna matter. If Bandai bought BattleTech, it would be a dream come true. That would be fantastic, honestly. I don't think it'll ever happen, but yeah, no, they should. But, right, this is where I'm going by saying Gundam Assemble is going to hurt Games Workshop. It's not going to kill them. It will not kill Warhammer as a brand. That is not going to happen, so don't mince my words. It's going to kick them in the nuts, though, really hard and repeatedly. because Bandai Namco is not just releasing a game with all their experience, tabletop war game with all their experience with model production and everything involved therein. That's not just what it is. The game is simple to pick up, simple to learn. You know, it's cheaper by far than Warhammer. It is cheaper by far than Warhammer. What else? It's easy to collect. You know, you need 3 to 5 models. That's all you need to get into it. 3 to 5 models. That is not a lot, okay? Even at $40 for 3 models, that's not a lot. $80 total, if you're unlucky, you know? If you're going to collect a very specific squadron of suits, yeah, then you might end up collecting a bit then. But you know what? If you're just getting into it, won't be hard. Like, you have more than enough for several teams in the fucking $100 launch box. You can get 2-3 man teams out of the $35 launch box. So yeah, it's priced competitively. And again, the rule complexity matters too here, because Games Workshop has had a problem with complexity addiction ever since 8th edition. The rules bloat in 8th was insane. The rules bloat in 9th was insane. 9th was supposed to make things easier and more understandable and more accessible, and fucking failed at it. All it did was remove granularity of choice, but didn't fix all the problems with complexity, because they replaced it all with scoring complexity, fucking turn complexity, fucking terrain complexity. Don't get me started on fucking terrain rules in Warhammer, all right? They're fucking bullshit, and they've never been able to fix them since 8th edition. $80 for a box of Space Marines. Yeah. Oh yeah, you can get like $80 for a box of Space Marines and be able to do jack all with it, or $80 for two boxes of two Gundam Assemble, you know, 2 Gundam Assemble fucking, you know, expansion kits, and you're good to go. You're good to go for a team of 3 or a team of 5, you know? You're good to go. And the starter boxes are exceptional value for money in that regard, considering game sizes. So yeah, in every way possible, like, this is poised to, if not dethrone Games Workshop, you know, then at the very least give them a bloody nose. You know, Games Workshop may be forced to rethink how they do things, because there's more to Gundam than just this tabletop game. Warhammer is a tabletop game trying to fuck off ads. I'm trying to do a rant here. I'm gonna have to let the ads go through after this next rant. Gundam is not just, okay, Warhammer was a relatively niche tabletop game setting that is trying to build itself up to cultural relevance, right? It started as a war game, then they wrote books. They tried movies, it failed. They it had comics, they stopped printing them. They tried video games, then they fucked those up by shotgunning the license to fucking everyone, and all the video games sucked after a while. So, for a long time, Games Workshop was just a tabletop game, you know, trying to claw out some additional cultural relevance. Occasionally they'd make a game that was good, but then, you know, COVID happened. They got recognized because everyone was bored, right? Everyone was indoors. They were bored. So they got into Warhammer. Games Workshop got it in their head. They want to do multimedia now. They want to push the books. They want to do the comics again. They want to do animations, movies, etc. More video games, like actual quality video games. They want that Lucasfilm bread, all right? They want that Lucasfilm recognition. Lucasfilm, it was like the Star Wars people. They had Star Wars. They did Star Wars fucking everywhere. Movies, comics, toys, video games, blah, 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 you know? That's what they wanted after they got that bite of extra money during the COVID hobby boom. They wanted that Lucasfilm appeal after that, and that's why they were going for things like Warhammer Plus, the Amazon deal. They want that cultural relevance. They're fighting to get it. Gundam doesn't have that problem. Warhammer is building up from the bottom. Gundam is at the top, working down. They have an easier go of it. Gundam is already culturally relevant. Like, if you don't know what Gundam is, right? And somebody says, giant Japanese robot, a Gundam will flash into your head. Could be the original, could be Wing, it doesn't matter. You think of a Gundam. You don't think of Battletech. Nobody knows what the fuck Battletech is unless they like Battletech, okay? Does that mean to say, yeah, but you know what? It's true. Nobody knows what the fuck Battletech is unless you like Battletech already. Gundam does not have that problem. Gundam already has a position of cultural relevance. It's getting much wider. It's getting much wider, keeping pace with Warhammer in America. And again, that's because Gundam has to break through to the American audience. Warhammer has to, but that's just breaking through to the American audience, which is easy. Warhammer has to build up from the bottom, and that's hard. And with Games Workshop fucking up with pricing, with lore, attacking their customers, fucking up with Warhammer Plus, fucking up with the Amazon deal, because they're fucking it up, don't get me wrong. The fact we've heard nothing since that was finalized is bad news, all right? That's bad news. They're fucking up everywhere and everything, and they're fucking up with the foundation of the franchise, the tabletop game. And they're fucking up with that too. So when something that's already culturally relevant and just needs to break into a new national audience, and is doing so really well, I will add, comes along with a tabletop game to enter that sphere, Games Workshop is kind of screwed. They're kind of screwed. They're not gonna die, but oh my God, they are gonna have to start fighting to maintain number one. Especially with, again, the price points and the ease of entry for Gundam Assemble. Gundam Assemble could very easily, break into the miniatures market off just the base game it's got, and then work up to a more complex version of the game for people who want a more hardcore game experience. They could do that very easily. And it would be, and for people who want that already, listen, even my ass, my dyscalculic ass, can calculate a simple hexes to inches conversion for Gundam Assemble. Helps Gundam's not really much competition for giant robots. Yeah, it's like both like, we're sticking to 40K because that's the most popular one. 40K and Gundam are both military sci-fi, but they're both such a different kind of military sci-fi that even though they occupy the same general fucking, subgenre, they don't really overlap that much. So when it comes to I'd say the biggest overlap is going to be like people wanting to, get into Gundam outside the tabletop, cost of time. Gundam is Games Workshop beat. You can go onto fucking Netflix or Crunchyroll or fucking YouTube and find some Gundam to watch, a Gundam anime to watch. Good luck doing that. Good luck having easy barrier of entry for watching something or something GW related. Go where do I watch this? Warhammer Plus. What's Warhammer Plus? This is Warhammer Plus. Okay, Warhammer Plus. I can't watch Warhammer Plus. I have to subscribe to Warhammer Plus. Oh, hey, Gundam info on fucking YouTube is showing 0079. I'll go watch that instead. Yeah. Yes, you starting to see where Games Workshop is in trouble now? Yeah. Oh, they are, they're not doing good. The barrier for entry to experience Warhammer, both in terms of difficulty of finding access and also cost is so much higher. It is so much higher than Gundam. And that ad break starts in 1 minute's time. So you know what? When this ad break is over, I'll be going AFK again for this ad break because, again, I don't want anybody on Twitch to miss out on the discussion. I don't want to be rambling about shit for like while they're while stuck behind a barrier for 3 minutes. So the moment the ad break warning goes away, I'm going to go AFK again. Nobody go anywhere. I'll be back. I'll be back when that happens. I want everyone to behave while I'm gone. I know you will though. Y'all good people. GW to Amazon will drive Henry Cavill insane. Probably Madrid. Probably. Bathroom time. Yeah, bit of bathroom. Get some other stuff done across 3 minutes. I'm a quick pisser. I'll get it done. All right. Ad will be up in approximately 5-ish seconds. So AFK, going AFK now.
Out there, yes, clear. Loud, clear. In the suspicious citizen, 4423 live, we'll get them all to station. On the cut. C7? Yes, ma'am, we'll be clear, and 233 will be clear on the N4, E. Edward, and 2 will both be a 50. 224, I'll be going out there. 233 will be clear on the N4, and 2 will both be a 50. Out there, yes, clear. Loud, clear. In the suspicious citizen, 4423 live, we'll get them all to station. On the cut. C7? Yes, ma'am, we'll be clear, and 233 will be clear on the N4, E. Edward, and 2 will both be a 50. 224, I'll be going out there. 233 will be clear on the N4, and 2 will both be a 50. Out there, yes, clear. Loud, clear. In the suspicious citizen, 4423 live, we'll get them all to station. On the cut. C7? Yes, ma'am, we'll be clear, and 233 will be clear on the N4, E. Edward, and 2 will both be a 50. 224, I'll be going out there. 233 will be clear on the N4, and 2 will both be a 50. Out there, yes, clear. Loud, clear. In the suspicious citizen, 4423 live, we'll get them all to station. On the cut. C7? Yes, ma'am, we'll be clear, and 233 will be clear on the N4, E. Edward, and 2 will both be a 50. 224, I'll be going out there. 233 will be clear on the N4, and 2 will both be a 50. Out there, yes, clear. Loud, clear. In the suspicious citizen, 4423 live, we'll get them all to station. On the cut. C7? Yes, ma'am, we'll be clear, and 233 will be clear on the N4, E. Edward, and 2 will both be a 50. 224, I'll be going out there. 233 will be clear on the N4, and 2 will both be a 50. Out there, yes, clear. Loud, clear. In the suspicious citizen, 4423 live, we'll get them all to station. On the cut. C7? Yes, ma'am, we'll be clear, and 233 will be clear on the N4, E. Edward, and 2 will both be a 50. 224, I'll be going out there. 233 will be clear on the N4, E. Edward, and 2 will both be a 50. Outbound, yes, clear. Loud, clear.
Hey everyone, I'm back. As you may have noticed, the I have closed the image. We're gonna be switching over to gaming now. I don't know what. I'm gonna be gaming. I'm also gonna be like more open chatting. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna play Dune. And while we're doing that, yeah, we'll just chat because Dune's pretty low intensity. I know exactly what I want to do in Dune. Yeah, no, we're pretty much just an open chat now. Pre-order or wait till October? You're so divided. Well, I personally pre-ordered. I pre-ordered the $100 box. I may pre-order the $35 one as well, just because I want that ground mat. You know, I also want Char's Zaku. I guess having Wing Zero and Epion will be nice as well. I'm not too big into Iron-Blooded Orphans, but the minis are nice. All right, let's get this set up. I saw the what DM? Hold on.
I dream of it amongst the wild threads of history.
Oh, that. I don't. Okay, now I know what you meant by beans. Okay.
The Imperium rise from the ashes left in the wake of the Great Revolt. Thou shalt not make a machine in the likeness of the human mind.
Question, what's bigger, a standard Gundam or a standard Imperial Knight? I want to say they're about even. A Gundam would shit mix a Knight though, like holy shit. A Gundam would absolutely any mobile suit would shit mix an Imperial Knight. Like in terms of speed, defense, firepower, yeah, it wouldn't. Yeah, it wouldn't. There wouldn't even be a fight. I bet. Okay, I'm gonna switch over Twitch to Dune because they'll yell at me if I don't. But we're still mostly just gonna be chatting. Dune can be pretty low intensity. Let's see. Oh God, what the shit? Oh, okay. Right. There's a storm going on in the deep desert. That's where I logged out last. Looking forward to the StarCraft minis game when it comes out. I'm interested in that, honestly. I don't know if I'll collect it myself. But, don't get me, but, you know, I'm glad it's gonna be a thing all the same. I got all my stuff equipped. Yeah, I do. You forgot to grind the rad dungeon today. You'll do it after snoozing. You know what? You know what? I don't know if I'm gonna have a stream tomorrow or not at 5. So I might just do it. I might grind it myself tomorrow. I might do it right. You know what? Fuck it. I'll do it right now. I'll do it right meow. I'll have to go back to base. With that, with what Gundam can do, absolutely, the Imperial Knights only shot is if the Gundam pilot lets them get a free shot with their best weapon. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, listen, if they fight, it ain't looking good for the Knight, you know? You know what? Hold on. I wanna try something I haven't done yet. Oh, this is just a, okay, this is just a feature, all right. Walls. Maybe this one? That's the garage door, okay. Okay, you know what? We're gonna rebuild the base a little bit while we're yapping. We're gonna rebuild the base. Also, the one-page rules Grimdark Future Campaign minis are close to being out, ready to be shipped. Looking forward to getting them and painting. Listen, man, people sleep on one-page rules. With the state of Warhammer in terms of its rules, yeah, no, people should be afraid. GW should be afraid of that. They really should. Oh, hello, hello, Shabos. How you doing? You know, I think this base is gonna look much nicer with a different tile set. Well, let's get up there. Okay. There's these up here. Roofs. Yeah, let's do roofs. What do I think of GW dropping Citadel paints? Well, I mean, they're not really dropping it, they're renaming it, but all the same, it's fucking retarded. Like, people know it as Citadel. Why would you change it? That's what everyone knows. Well, I don't think there's... Oh, I don't think there's... No, they don't have floors. Okay, so we'll just use these floor tiles. All right. Now, let me down. Come on, open up. Open up. Open up. Okay. Inclines. Okay, so... They don't have, right. Inclines. Inward. Roof, inward corner. All right, yeah. Oh, that doesn't look bad. Okay, yeah, I can use that on the corners. All right, all right, all right. Now we're cooking with gas. Okay. Yeah. We can work with this. We can work with this. Okay. Right. I think I got one more corner I gotta change. They should have kept the painting splash and shield new logo. It looks boring. Well, of course it looks boring. It's fucking corporate approved. Of course it looks boring. Looks like shit. And that's because it does look, that's because it is shit. Thoughts on 11th? We don't know enough about 11th to have thoughts on it. I don't think it's going to be good, if that's what you're wondering. I don't think it's going to be any good. Yeah, no, we're close to 11th edition coming out, Super Jesse. Yeah, we're close to 11th coming out soon. Yeah, 11th is going to be very soon. They're probably going to announce it at Adepticon. Adepticon? No. Fuck. I forget when they're going to announce it, but it's going to be soon. It is going to be soon. I can guarantee you that. All right, there we go. All right, walls. Wedge walls. Can't even begin to fathom the bullshit they're gonna puke up with that one. Man, I don't even want to think about 11th. They couldn't even get 9th to work. They think they're gonna try and like, oh, well, we just, try and wedge a fucking square peg in a round hole. Surely that'll fit, right? Nah, that ain't gonna work, dude. That ain't gonna work. Nah, you know what? I like the, I like, hold on. I like this better. Wait, no, hold on. We'll stick with the standard looking concrete ramp. Oh, shit, right. Walls. Okay. I want to say everything outside has been changed as well. Oh, nope, we're missing some. All right, and change those. Oh, what do you mean overlaps existing placeable? What do you want about? What are you smoking? Overlaps existing placeable. What existing placeable are you overlapping? All right, I'll demolish you. There. Now you work. Ah, geez. What? Why do you have to make it so fucking difficult? Christ. Probably not going to happen, but it would be funny. Wait, hold on. Imagine if some impossible reason they accidentally make something decent with 11th. I don't think so. Not with the path they're on as a company. With the path they're on as a company, that's just not going to happen. So as GW hate Black Templars, they seem bad in 10th. You know what? It wouldn't surprise me. There's absolutely a political bent to what GW is doing with some of their choices. You know, like to me, it's fairly obvious. Like, listen, okay, here's a question for you. When was the last time something 40K related had a main Imperial Guard leader character who was a man? Now, out of all those Imperial Guard leader characters, how many of them were white? Can't Salida replicate? Do I have no salvaged metal? I should. Hold on. Okay, I used most of it. All right, I can fix that. All right, open up. Open up, come on. Come on, open up. There we go. Yeah, no, okay, yeah, basically they basically don't release white male Imperial Guard leaders anymore. They're almost always female, and they are almost never white. So yeah, that's all you need to know there. There we go. Grey Knights are gonna get a refresh eventually. I mean, yeah, I mean, they probably will. Like, don't get me wrong, they're gonna refresh Grey Knights, but at this point, do you really want them to? Like, do you really want them to at this point? Like, no, in all honesty? Like, you saw what they did to Torquemada Cortez. Do you really think they're gonna fucking do right by fucking, you know, Grey Knights if they revamp them? All right, make me 3 Solito replicators. If they retcon Caiaphas Cain to be a girl, I will affirm that we'll never be a Warhammer player. I kind of don't want him to get any more novels now because you know they're going to push that shit super hard. You know, they're going to push Caiaphas Cain's replacement, you know, the woke brown girl boss character who's probably also a lesbian. No, they won't retcon him. They won't retcon him, like remove him from the setting. That would cause that would piss too many people off. But they'll do the fucking, you know, the Disney Star Wars thing. They'll add a brown-skinned female character whose entire purpose of the story is that she is better than him in every way and is going to like be his replacement. That is what they'll do. Come on, open up. Open up, open up. There we go. If the baby carriers improve, maybe the Dark Angels turn. Okay, no, they're not gonna make a new Dread Knight because they just released a Dread Knight. Remember? They just released a new Dread Knight. They're not gonna replace it that quickly. So yeah, as much as I hate to say, don't go holding your breath for a new Dread Knight. All right, that's 1. That's 2. That's 3. All I remember is praise Space King. Yeah, real. Let's get you here. Where's my shotgun? There it is. Okay. You up there. You 3 go in here. There we go. All right, you know what? Let's load up on water, and I will deposit most of my gear. I'm actually going to want to keep some of this stuff. Yeah, all right. So, let's see. Take you off. No. Open up. Wait, no. Whip you there. There we go. Oh no, we need you. We need. Where'd it go? Oh, probably equipped it right. So you. You, and my guns. All right, is that everything? Everything. All right, yeah. Okay, we're good. The day GW releases info on the machine cult religion, and I mean actual lore on the religion's beliefs and practices in depth for every level, I'll be eating good. That's the part of humanity's lore I want to know the most about. Yeah, I get that. I've given up on new GW releases. They're not releasing anything good. They have no impetus to release anything good. So why should I care? I don't have my repair tool. Fuck. All right. You know what? I'll take that. Repair tools are cheap. I'll take that with me, just in case I need it. And also I gave Ash the wire. Fuck. All right. Welding wire. I need... All right. Make me 15 stacks. What exactly is GW's stance on kit bashing? Do they consider it legal, or do they just not care enough to enforce it? Well, one of the sets of rules they released with these three end of edition campaigns is they let you make your own special character. But it's kind of pointless because those rule books are just going to be defunct when 11th comes out anyway. So I mean, enjoy your custom special character rules you're going to have for like 6 months and then never be able to use again. Hopefully real competition will finally make him try it one once. That's what we were talking about today. Gundam Assemble coming out. Like Bandai Namco is poised to give GW a bloody nose right now with Gundam Assemble. Like that's literally what we were talking about for most of the stream. All right, there we go. There we go. Oh shit, right. You know what, no, we'll keep these ladders. They look fine. Yeah, repair my shit. How's my... Oh, it's fine. I'll repair it anyway. Why not? I actually have to remember to repair my fucking booster as well. I always forget to repair my damn booster. Yeah, there we go. What part of Gundam is actually the most popular in terms of tone of its... Universal Century. Universal Century is the most popular, followed by... oh, fuck. What's the Seed timeline? The Gundam Seed timeline is second. I would say just because of the West by itself, Wing is probably third. Like, just from the West alone, just because the West knows Wing better than anything else. Char is the most popular thing in Gundam. Yeah, Char is the most popular thing overall from Gundam. All right, we're all repaired. Oh shit, right. Now you know what? No, I'm not gonna bring my boots. Fuck it. Oh, that's a medium spice blow out there. Okay. Away we go. Burning Finger. Yeah, G is pretty popular, but G never had any other follow-ups or spin-offs. But G is also really good. G is also just really, really good. It's like, I don't really think it needs follow-ups or spin-offs. It's good on its own. I know these days, I know Gundam X has gained a lot of popularity since it came out, but honestly, I think the least liked Gundam right now is Age. Gundam Age is the least liked. Kind of annoying, the 3 Zaku starter kit isn't for pre-order here. It's available in Japan, though. Is it? Huh. I mean, you'll probably be able to get it import easily enough. I hope the spice blow isn't so far north that I enter the PvP zone. That'll be obnoxious, especially because there's people out right now. I saw some thopters flying around. I feel like Gundam is like Warhammer in the sense that the world is so big that all the series can be canon and still work. No, actually, no. The AUs and UC overwrite each other very heavily. But the fact it has those AUs gives it plenty of wiggle room for people to still find something that they can like. That's the important thing. Don't need the info cards in English. I'm pretty certain, yeah, that would be a problem now that I think about it. Shid. Fug, even. Okay, I think that's in Sector D. I should be all right. But I would be very surprised if they don't release more of those kits in the States. I would be very surprised. They want to, because they want to make this a, you know, international release. Thoughts on Witch for Mercury? It's mid. It's mid. Like, that's its biggest... Like, that's honestly its biggest crime, is that it's mid. Like that is like legitimately that is the worst thing it does. It is just mid. What sector we? Okay, we are in D sector. Okay, I'm probably gonna be competing for spice here, but you know that's fine. Oh, this is already getting eaten up. Damn. Okay. And there he is already. Shit. Good, bad, mid, good, or mid bland? Mid bland, honestly. Mid bland. It doesn't really, the world building is kind of bad. The characters never really did much for me, honestly. Like, I'd say it's a perfectly enjoyable but ultimately forgettable entry in Gundam. All right, we're not gonna fight over this one. This one's clearly, oh, hold on. Oh, he's Madge again. He's Madge. Yep, time to fuck off. This site's been eaten. Another one way out there though. I'm going for it. Oh no, that's a small one. Shit. All right. Oh whatever. I'll fly around the PvP zone. What's the worst that'll happen other than me dying? Yeah, like that guy right there. Okay. Need to pull all the Vandus stuff from the Vandus Heart manga and leave the romance on the main series. Just go all in on Gundam romance series. I mean, the Gundam, listen, mecha anime is already a genre about romance. Maybe not in the, maybe not always in like the, you know, the sense of like the, you know, like the love sense, but in the sense of like, you know, like the, oh, well, fuck, what's the other definition of romance? I can't think of it off the top of my head, but like that. You know Japan loves G-Cucks, but I can't say the same. Like, the AU stuff was interesting until you find out how it happened. It's ending Okay, nah, man, nah. I thought G-Cucks was really good. It's really funny to me how the West started dogpiling it. Oh, hello. It was really funny to me how the West started dogpiling, well, not the West as a whole, but the G-Witch tourists started going off on it when they found out that their main characters, the main character girls weren't lesbians. Suddenly they hated it. Like, oh, I never liked G-Cucks. It was always bad. Nobody liked it. It flopped. And then we found out it did better than Witch from Mercury in terms of like ratings and model sales. Like the cope from G-Witch fans was genuinely funny. G-Cucks is better than Wing, even though you like Wing. Yeah, well, I mean, listen, the fact it's kind of Universal Century really does do it a lot of favors. Smash and grab. Get the spice, get out. Big issue was that G-Witch didn't get that many people to watch more Gundam. G-Cucks pretty much made it a requirement and got more people in the original series. True, but G-Cucks is also good. Like it's not just, you know, there's some UC member berries in it, but it's still a good show. The problem with G-Witch is it didn't really excite much because just the world building kind of didn't really go anywhere. The world wasn't interesting, and neither were the characters. And the Gundams, I don't know, I'm not a fan of the mobile suit designs either. The whole fighting tournament corporate high school thing was also kind of weird, you know? Kind of weird, kind of unpalatable. You know, it did like the fighting tournament thing, like G Gundam did, but not really leaning into the shonen elements like G did. That made it so different. Gotta get all that sweet, sweet worm poop. Yeah, real. This shit's valuable, man. Risk life and limb for this shit. We are in G5. Is that a house down there? No, that's just the landmass. Okay. Never saw G-Witch, but I can't say I know anything about it. The fans only talk about the dumb shipping. Yeah, no, it's genuinely funny how all the people who claim to be Gundam fans because of G-Witch didn't even pay attention to G-Witch. I wonder how many people just watched shorts of it like hoodweebs are wont to do. You know, watch like YouTube shorts of fucking G-Witch. It's like, oh, I watched G-Witch. No, you fucking didn't. No, you fucking didn't. Shut the fuck up. I think that's the funniest thing about Dune is that society basically runs on worm shit. Yeah, I don't think Frank Herbert meant for it to be that way, like to sound like that, but that's basically what he wrote. Sector 4H. I haven't found another medium spice blow yet, which is weird. They're more common this far north. I got no problem admitting the last Gundam series I watched was new Iron-Blooded Orphans. I ain't hiding that I don't watch the shows. I just absorb the lore best I can. Now, that's fine. Listen, listen. Half the battle is being honest about it, you know? You're not a tourist if you just, dabble and then admit you dabble, you know? That's not tourism. Tourism is pretending you're an expert and better than everyone else when you're not. That's tourism. When it comes to Warhammer, I've repeated ad nauseum that I am not an expert. I will always say I am not an expert. I get things wrong. I don't know everything. Generally speaking, when it comes to Warhammer lore, I will turn people toward Warhammer fans who I know are smarter than me. Arch, Pontius, like that. Self-aware enough to admit you're a jackass? Yeah, that helps. I'm a jackass, I admit that. I'm a jerk. Uh-oh, hold on. Big spice field. I don't know if it's occupied. It, yesn't? Fuck it, let's turn toward it. Let's see what happens. It's empty. Okay. We're now in I sector. We're about as far north as we can go. I think I sector is the furthest north. Yeah, I sector is the furthest north. We'll turn toward I-1, scan that, scan across to I-2, then head back south. We all got that one friend that is the encyclopedia of a friend group. Sadly for me, that's me. Hey man, that's cool. That's cool. Ain't nothing wrong with knowing shit, man. Knowing things only becomes a problem when you lack the wisdom to actually utilize it. That's what we call being overeducated. It's like intellect is knowing things. Wisdom is knowing what to do with the things you know. What's the saying? Intellect is knowing a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to use tomato in a fruit salad. All right, bring it around. Bring it around town. Bring it around town. Hey, Salt Breaker, how you doing? Hold on, let me get into a position where I'm gliding. I'll give you a shout out. Hold on. Okay, sun's coming up. That'll make scouting these spice holes a lot easier. All right.
Me?
Okay, I'm gonna try to chain these together, see how that works. Nope, that did not work chaining them together. There we go. Go follow Salt. He just got back into streaming. He just got back into streaming, and he's cool people. I highly recommend him. Funny guy. Funny and entertaining. Should I just watch the first part of Robotech and then read up on the changes if I want to? Okay, if you want to watch Macross, do this. Don't watch Robotech. Watch Macross. Just watch Macross. Like, however much of it you want. Macross is a good show. I'm not a big fan of Macross past Macross Plus, but you know what? It's still good. It's just not for me personally. But objectively, it's still good. But avoid Robotech at all costs. It is a butcher job of an excellent anime. Just doing some ghost ops with the boys as a cooldown for squids. Yeah. Robotech is localized garbage. Yeah. And plus Harmony Gold, where the guy's fucking over Fasa. And, you know, later, other Mech Warrior and Battletech stuff for years. Fuck them. Fuck them, fuck Robotech. I'm a Macross man. And there's just nothing out here today. The desert do be empty today. Okay, we're gonna cut toward us, you know, one of the more southern sectors, just in case there's something I missed. We don't need to be all the way up north, just high enough and just high enough up that I can see the purple. I learned they're making a second season of Gate. Yeah, they're doing it's gonna be like a naval warfare season. It's like, okay, maybe I'll rewatch Gate. That's my particular brand of military autism, is naval combat. So the worms need water to make spice. The worms only make spice once in their entire life. That's when they're called, what are called sand trout, baby worms. And then they all the water leaves their body along with their excrement. And that becomes what's called the pre-spice mass below the sand. When that bursts out of the sand, and then dries on the surface, that's the spice. But yeah, they only make spice that one time in their life cycle. Need to finish Gate Season 1. I need to rewatch it is what I need to do. That's one of the big fields up there. I'm gonna go scope it out just in case it's empty for some reason. You know, on the off chance it's empty. I don't think it is, but hey, you never know, right? Been rereading the Gate manga. I mean, it really is just so much JSDF wank as an anime, but if I hated it for that, it'd be hypocritical of things like, you know, the Transformers trilogy, which I fucking love. So yeah. There's nothing wrong with wanking your country's military prowess, unless you're a communist. Then there's a problem with wanking your country's military prowess. Based on these last elections, if Japan is anything, it is certainly not communist. The Communist Party in Japan has no more power. They lost it all. Yeah, that spice field's empty. Coming back around. Oh, shit. Fuck it. There we go. H6. Yeah, I don't see no spice here. I'm gonna slim pickings today, honestly. Some flower sand down there. Join the JSDF for a small chance to get an elf girlfriend. Bro, listen, let me tell you something. You know, like elves in every setting, it wasn't a small chance. It was, in fact, probably a fairly large chance. It's not, listen, it's not our fault that elf women prefer human men, okay? And elf guys prefer human men, too. Is that a spice patch? No, it's a shadow. God damn it. Man, there really ain't much of anything out in the sands today. Shit. He doesn't have an elf girlfriend. He's an elf wife and daughter. I mean, hey, yo, listen, man. It's like Shinzo Abe said, marry and reproduce. Who are you to say no to the late great Shinzo Abe, friend of Donald Trump? Remember, it is a canon event that sometimes Trump will say, if only Shinzo was here. Bro legit thinks about him the way Reinhard von Lohengram thought of Kircheis after his death. Bo on his way to rizz up the androgynous elven men. You're goddamn right I would. You're goddamn right I would. Listen, listen, it's a simple fact of life. There ain't no cock like human cock, okay? And that's a neutral statement, I will point out. That doesn't that goes either way. Them elf bitches thirst for it in every setting, man. Why do you think half elves are so popular? Oh, hey, Shai Haluda. Oh, there we go. Now, how big a blow is that? Is that small? Is that medium? I think that's a small. Humans are the Skaven of fiction? No, humans are actually honorable and have a sense of morals and, like, an orderly society. I think it's really cringe when some 40K fans try to say that fucking humans are the Skaven of 40K. No, they're fucking... Oh, hey. A half-eaten medium field. Uh-oh. Some Thopters there. I don't know if they see me or not. They're probably looking ahead of themselves. Going for it. It's a bunch of weird. Fuck it, man. Free spice. Nah, man. Free spice. Oh shit! Uh-oh. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Fuck. Fucking go! Ah, fuck. Oh my god, I keep hitting the goddamn deck! behind me. He's back there. Just gotta cool off my engine. Just gotta cool off my engine. I can escape. I can escape. I can do this. Just gotta cool off and go. Haha, I stole your spice! Oh, that's a big field. It's gonna have people around it. God damn it. Okay, gotta go. Gotta go. Uh-oh. Incoming missile. Where? Ah, fuck it. Whatever. I'm a hang low. I'm a hang low. I'm fucked up. I'm fucked up, but you know what? I made it. I made it. I'm guessing it was a trap. No, I don't think it was a trap. I think I just got spotted by whoever was, harvesting it. I stole some of their spice and managed to fuck off, but other than that, yeah. They hit me good, but I lived. Okay, I think they gave up the chase. I'm gonna pull up and glide again. Okay, what sector am I in right now? I'm in F8. I'm still traveling back to the safe zone. But I got out with that spice. That's what matters. I don't see anyone, so we should be fine. There's a hole in my left wing. Oh, it'll buff out. It'll buff out. I'm definitely going to stop and repair once I'm in the safe zone. But it looks like I'm not being followed anymore. I was able to outrun them. Okay, we are now losing our PvP flag. I'm gonna aim for a place to land and repair. Hey Bo, even if you haven't played the KOF games, have you at least heard of how absurdly difficult many bosses, King of Fighters are? Yeah, I've heard of that. All right. Aha! I escaped with your spice! Haha! Oh, my tail got fucked up. This is why I brought repair wire. That wing was damaged. This wing was damaged. One of my wings was badly damaged, though. I'm trying to find which one that was. This one, that one got fucked up. Okay. I think everything else is fine. That took some hits. That's fine. You took some hits, and you took some hits. There we go. All fixed up. Okay, now what the hell sector am I even in? I'm in D8. You know what? I'm gonna cut across the dunes and look for a little more spice before I get back to the sector 5. And once I'm back in 5, I'll head back to base and drop all this off. I'm in the safe zone now, so I can't get attacked. Hearing you what you said about Paul Verhoeven originally wanting to make a separate sci-fi series but being coerced to make. Oh no, he wasn't coerced. He deliberately decided to, you know, combine the two. That was an active choice on his part. Like, that was an active choice on Verhoeven's part. Do not misunderstand, he was not coerced into anything. He was being actively malicious. Yeah, he wanted to defame the good name of an author by associating the author's work with fascism. Verhoeven's a legit piece of shit. Turn. Fly out to Sector 5 and then double back to our base. And also in common, because remember, he also said the bugs launched the rock. Yeah, exactly. Like, you can't really make an argument for fascism when your fascists didn't even start the war. Hey, TLA, how you doing? How you doing? How was your day? You have a good day, good evening, etc., etc.? We're just spice hunting in Dune right now. Kind of slim pickings tonight. But you know, it happens. It happens. But we managed to get some and managed to avoid getting, you know, ganked at the same time, which, you know, go us. Worm hunting? Well, no, spice hunting. Spice hunting involves worms, though. Since they, you know, come up to attack you. Yeah, pickings are slim right now. Shit. All right. Hold on a minute. There's a rock formation out there. Or there's a formation in the sand.
Sector weather alert.
Uh-oh.
A large sandstorm is approaching.
Oh no, that is not a large spice field in the PvE zone like I thought it was. Oh, there's one. There's one though. Okay, we have a destination now. Okay, oh wait, this sandstorm in 2 minutes. Where's it coming from? Please not that direction. Please not the direction I need to go. Okay, we've got a destination, folks. It's that big old plume out in the distance. Oh, there's the storm. Oh, not on my ass. Oh, it's gonna be on my fucking ass. God damn it. All right. All right, if I keep this heading, am I gonna end up in the PvE? Nope, I will not end up in the PvP zone. All right. What worries me, though, is that storm out there and which way it's going to be going. Because it's behind me. And it's behind me, and I don't know if it's coming straight at me or if it's going to be, you know, at an angle and go north or south into the desert. All right, let's check back behind us. It's going northwest. I'm safe. Okay. Real teacher's name was Dubois. Yeah, an easy way to catch someone saying they've read the book is to get them to call the teacher that taught Johnny Ratchek. Because it is not Ratchek in the book, it is Dubois. Ratchek being a teacher is compositing him with Dubois. A lot of people don't know that. Well, a lot of people who claim to have read the books, that's a good way to catch them. Because they will not have read the books, they'll only have watched the movie. Average Tornado Alley experience, real. Yeah. This is the giant ass sandstorm. Maybe you can see it on my tail now. Yeah, there it is out there. Big ass sandstorm brewing in the distance. It's gonna miss where I'm going, so I'm good. I'm clear. Oh, there was another spice blow. I just saw that. I just saw the shockwave from it. Okay. Hopefully this one hasn't been picked to shit. That'd be really nice, and I could like harvest this and bring it home. Now, like I said, hopefully there's no worm sign, which is always good. Usually if there's worm sign, that means a worm is pissed off. If a worm is pissed off, that means someone's harvesting the spice here. In fact, I think I see a thopter taking off. But we're in D sector, so it's all good. I'm gonna dip low real quick, see what the what state the field is in. It is almost gone. Shit, all right. There was another explosion further west. I'm gonna go for that one. Might have just been a small though, unfortunately. Yeah, it's a small one. All right, you know what? All right. Yeah, no, Deep Desert's busy today. It's hard to get spice. All right, oh, fuck it. I'm gonna turn for home. How does a spice blow occur? Well, yeah, okay, so I was talking about the worms and how when they're still young, you know, sand trout. Basically, they all the water leaves their body and along with their excrement, and that kind of just starts to build up pressure beneath the sands. And then basically what happens is eventually the pressure builds and builds and builds until eventually just the cork on it pops. And it blows up like a nuke from underneath the, it blows up with the force of a nuke from under the sands. And that's the spice blow. And then, the spice after popping will land on the sands and dry, and that forms a spice field. And then people go out and harvest the spice fields. It's a geyser of worm poop. Yeah, basically, it's a geyser of worm poop. That back there is a geyser of worm poop. Incredibly valuable narcotic worm poop. It's basically space cocaine. Speaking of worms, there's one right now digging under the sand. Can't even begin to fathom how big the vibration must be for a spice blow, because the worm's vibration equals food. Honestly, from what I gather, the worms would actually, the worms would recognize the sound and probably not be bothered by it. It's rhythmic vibrations that, on the surface that really bother them. That's why, you hear that one saying from Dune, if you walk without rhythm, you won't attract the worm. Basically, non-rhythmic vibrations don't bother them. Like what you got, the sand walk that the Fremen do is like a deliberately non-rhythmic walk that doesn't attract sandworms. Yeah. You gotta walk like that one Olympic interpretive dance lady from Australia who embarrassed the entire Olympic scene so much that they don't do interpretive dance anymore. Yeah, like that. All right. First of all, only got 1,000 spice, but you know what? Hey, could be worse. We've got spice this week. We've got enough for at least one load of spice. All right. All right, let's move some shit around. Right there. Leader John right here. Take my boots. I should have brought the boots with me, honestly. It's all right, though. That and that. We'll keep this extra 98 on me as well. All right. Come to think of it, wouldn't the ships be a magnet for these things? They fly like bugs, which rely on rhythmic movements to fly. Only if they try to land. But when flying, no, the worms wouldn't notice. It's too high up in the air and off the ground. So yeah, the worms wouldn't notice the the things. All right. Okay, one moment, everyone. Hold the fuck up. I spell okay. All right. I'm sending y'all to watch Leaflet over on Twitch. She is currently chatting. I don't know what about. I guess you'll see when you get there. Thank y'all for watching, everyone. I don't know if I'll be back tomorrow. If not, I'll announce on Twitter and YouTube if I'll be streaming at all Saturday. I'll have to figure that out. But thank you all for coming. I will catch you all next time. Thank you for watching. Yeah, take care, everyone. Later.
That Out there? Yes, clear.